I appreciate someone doing my games for
Doing your games for you? Who's doing your games for you?
someone put Sea of Thieves in there.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I did that because I didn't want you to forget to talk about. Hey, everybody! Welcome to bonus content. It's me, Alex, and I'm with Tony, Scott, and Nabishin. We're back.
Fact.
Fact, hard facts, hard truths with Alex O'Neill. Um, Happy New Year, everybody. Our first, I guess, like the Game of the Year show was technically recorded in the new year. But this is like New Year, New Us, right? This is the first regular podcast of 2019. So Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, fellas. I want to ask everyone here, what is your New Year's resolution? You've had 19 days to think about it. I'm sure, Scott, you've got it locked and loaded.
You know my policy on New Year's resolutions.
Fuck them.
Yeah, don't fucking wait till New Year to decide you want to do something.
Is there anything that you've decided that you want to do? It's your
Just
last.
completely separate from the new year, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a recent decision.
Just a decision, the choice that you've made independently of anything.
That can be done in 365 days.
The closest thing that would be around this time is
Yeah.
about roughly when I started having the stomach problem.
Yeah.
Is that I was going to start cutting out some junk food
Okay. Good call.
and stop slowly gaining weight.
Yes, dude. That's
Which, at the time, I was losing a lot of weight fairly fast for very bad reasons.
Mhm.
But I was like, And I don't think these two things are entirely separate. So
I feel you on that. It's a very slow gain of weight, but it's starting to feel it. I'm starting to notice.
Yeah.
I was sitting on a chair and my legs were like squished out, and I was like, my legs are getting a little chunky. I gotta do it. Maybe cutting out junk food would probably be a good start. As I say, looking at this Dr. Pepper, I'm about to crack open and just go ham on.
Yeah, I for the most part stopped drinking soda.
Yeah, you're a LaCroix boy now.
No,
I
hell
know.
no.
I know.
I'm not doing that challenge again either.
Yeah, I gotcha. Drink a whole.
Sorry,
fucking
Justin,
case.
but you had me once.
Yeah, Justin gets one, and then he never gets it again.
Not for LaCroix. Maybe for something else though.
Yeah. Okay. Are you just drinking more water then? Less soda, more water.
Yeah, but I've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's just, if I go out to eat, I just don't get anything to drink. I just drink when I'm thirsty.
Drink the water.
And you know what's good when you're thirsty?
Water,
You know what's bad when you're thirsty?
soda,
Everything else.
everything. It's true. Everything else.
Dude, I want Scott to get on a diet of like all of his liquids are just grain alcohol.
Just beer, sake. I don't know any other grain alcohol.
What? Neither of those.
Wouldn't beer?
I mean like
Oh.
Everclear. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Scott predominantly drinks Everclear.
Like fucking 90 proof.
Scott doesn't leave
or
the
rather
house without.
180 proof.
Scott doesn't leave the house
Longer
without
than
his
that.
barrel of jungle juice.
His flask, dude.
Tony, do you have a New Year's resolution?
Get Scott on the flask game is my New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Until I fix my stomach problem, dude, I can't drink.
Yeah, it's gonna burn right through his whole situation.
Yeah, so basically, what it feels like to me is that the buffer in my stomach is gone. If I eat stuff that's too basic, I feel a very low burn in my stomach and I can't sleep. If I eat something too acidic, I get heartburn.
So nothing basic with me is you're not allowed to get any fucking pumpkin spice anything.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Pumpkin
That's some
spice
basic
light.
bitch shit, and that counts.
Yep, that's fair. No
It
spices.
physically hurts me.
I'm sorry, Scott.
As it should.
As it should. Do you not have any New Year's just aspirations, Tony?
Nothing like out of the usual, like, you know, just be a better person.
Yeah, of course. What about you, Nabishin? Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I already broken one.
Oh no!
Hell yeah, dude. That's the best part.
What was the resolution, if you don't mind me asking?
Try to see some of my extended friends this year.
Oh, okay. It's only been 3 months,
weeks.
weeks.
You got plenty of time to see them.
Yeah, you got wiggle room.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to Texas anymore,
It's
so
been
that's
like
what I said.
Gotcha.
It's been like 3 weeks. Did you have like a specific goal to see one a week?
Well,
no.
I get the PAX East thing. I think like that's okay. I mean, I've heard rumblings of like a San Francisco type thing that will happen this summer, regardless of a normal event that is normally over the summer. So
I just need to know the date.
Yeah.
So because I need to switch my vacation dates. Because like I said before, like out of like I have to set my vacations at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
For the rest of the year. So I can get rid of that one, but I have to know what that one is, and that has to be free. If it's not free, then there's no go for me. So
yeah, I get you. I think you'll have an opportunity, at the very least. So, do you have any other resolutions? Any other personal ones?
No, other than get better at my job.
Yeah, I got you. As for me, my New Year's resolution is to be better friends with Tony.
Oh God! I mean, I approve.
Last year or the year before.
That's a pretty good New Year's resolution because I'm always about that. But
well, I mean, I'll say only playing Destiny with Tony once was a real bummer for me, even though Tony doesn't believe me when I say it. So yeah, I think I've got like a lot of personal goals. Be a better friend, be more available to my friends, both emotionally and physically. Eat a little bit healthier, take a little bit better care of myself. It's just,
All right. So we're going to make that eat a little bit healthier, a little more specific.
Okay.
So no more Taco Bell.
Soylent only.
Soylent only. I could probably cut back on the Taco Bell.
All right, just
dude, like go to like once a day.
Do something else.
Yeah, I really got to bring it down from 3 times a day.
That's the resolution.
Yeah. Maybe like make a salad,
Come on, dude. Like the breakfast is good, but not that.
It's just available, man. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that. I think like I've just, I'm like currently not super depressed, so I'm like kind of coming off of this. I think I said that in October and that I was wrong. But I'm like feeling pretty good. Like I've consistently been like pretty okay mental health wise for the last couple of weeks, and I've been like, all right, this is okay. So I've been kind of breathing a little bit easier and living life a little bit more happy. So I'm thinking clearer. So that makes me like, all right, let's work on health a little bit more. Maybe cut some Taco Bell out of the diet, things like that. And then professionally, definitely excited to do some dumb stuff with the Writer Boys on IP. And obviously, on this podcast, my resolution is to take Tony and my betting team to the top, baby.
Obviously. I sent before we went live, I sent Tony a list of possible names that we'll go over once we get to the end of the show. I'm really excited about the betting team. So yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling good about 2019. Positive vibes. No more sad tweets. That was like the most strict resolution. I've been okay about it. I had a funny insomnia tweet the other night, but outside of that, no sad tweets. I was gonna ask something. Have you guys gotten in anything in the last couple of weeks? Scott, you gotten in anything? Gotten in any trouble?
I am holding off for Kingdom Hearts 3 at this point.
Dude, yes. You and the rest of us.
It's like I'm good.
Just waiting.
All the Game of the Year stuff is kind of over.
It's over.
So,
all
like,
the things
only real
published.
pick from last year that I want to do, I guess I have 2. It'd be Spider-Man and Dead Cells.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you got time. Like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, not going anywhere.
No more time
And
pressure. Also, like
as
you don't have
far
to
as
finish them.
games that come out this year,
Mhm.
there's Kingdom Hearts 3, and then one more that I forget already. Damn
Sekiro.
it. Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's other. So it's looking like another short year.
Yeah. We'll see. There's a lot of unannounced stuff. We got like Animal Crossing and whatnot coming at some point too. So.
That's true.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good place to be. I think that's right where I am too. I don't know about you now, Bashin. Are you counting the days yet?
Of what?
Until Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, sure.
Are you basically saying I could get into this right now,
Mm-hmm.
but Kingdom Hearts 3 soon?
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, man. I'm like it coincides with like a vacation for me too, so it's like a personal break that I'm very much.
Yeah, same. Me too. My vacation from this fucking pod.
This fucking Kingdom Hearts channel.
Yeah.
Fan channel that we're starting. What about you, Tony? You getting into anything the last couple of weeks?
A bunch of family stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Typically around the holidays, everybody comes into town from states surrounding. So I was just kind of hanging out with people, doing stuff like that. Otherwise, nothing super exciting. Yeah,
Okay.
just kind of chilling, being inside when you're not in the snow.
Yeah.
My car is not a great snow car, so driving it as little as possible while it's snowing and directly after is a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was kind of just chilling in the house for a while, ordering delivery food because I couldn't fucking leave.
Let me tell you guys about my new best friend, DoorDash.
Okay,
a service where people will bring you food from places that don't deliver, like an Uber Eats or a Grubhub, but in my experience, a lot more positive. And the best part is the tip, everything's paid for. So when they show up, they knock on your door, they hand you the food, I say thank you, and they leave. That's it. It's a bare minimum human interaction. Sometimes I'm wearing real pants, sometimes I'm wearing lounge pants. Either way, I'm satisfied. So, big fan. Highly recommended, Tony.
Okay.
Also, what's funny is like DoorDash has, like, they'll do delivery on places that already do delivery, like Papa John's or like Pizza Hut or something, and I don't know why.
I gotta say, okay, well, I'll tell you. I mean, okay.
I
did a lot of DoorDash. I did a lot of research on how these particular companies operate.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And I will say that DoorDash is the only company out of all of those that I completely ethically disagree with.
Oh,
as far
okay.
as their business practices go.
So you were familiar. This was entrapment.
No. But to put it like short, basically the way that their system works, they just send people to people's restaurants, get their menus, and then put them on their website without consulting the business owner.
Okay.
And then if you order food from said restaurant, then they will just call the restaurant as you and place an order for themselves and then take that order that they made for themselves to you.
Okay.
With no consent by the business owner. And, if they're getting swamped by people from DoorDash complaining or whatever, then they're like, what do you want? Like, you never came to me. You never offered me anything. You just put me on your website without my consent. Mm-hmm. So that's why if you like look at them compared to a bunch of other services like that, they'll have a bunch more things than other places, other websites will have available because they don't ask anybody. They just do it.
Okay. It's funny because but you'll also see like places that will say like we deliver with DoorDash also. So
yes, there are. So like it's funny because the people who enter into a contract with are like basically saying like, we give you permission. And they'll DoorDash will help them set up the website or whatever, and will promote them more. Uh-huh. But in exchange for promoting them more, they take a cut of the food cost as well instead of just the fees.
Yeah.
So people who are working with DoorDash are actually paying more for DoorDash to deliver their food rather than just selling their food for the normal price, and then DoorDash delivers it at the cost of their delivery fee, which is why their delivery fee and service fees are higher than other places.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I wonder how it works. Like, there are some places that don't have delivery fees, but it's like a per restaurant basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. This is very
So yeah,
enlightening.
it annoys me that they just ignore the business owners and stuff and don't get their consent to use their their business on their business. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's fine. It's a service.
Yeah, I gotcha. What about you, Nabishin? You getting anything in the last couple of weeks?
Nothing in particular, just working.
Okay. I saw Big Hero 6. I watched Big Hero 6 last night. For the first time. It's very sweet. My brother bought it for me cuz he's like, "You need to watch this before Kingdom Hearts comes out." And I was like, "Okay." I'm trying to think. I guess like Wreck-It Ralph is a summon in that game, and I have not seen Wreck-It Ralph, either of them, which I've been told.
I saw the first one.
I hear it's good.
It's decent.
It's decent. So I guess that's like the only other Disney movie represented in that game that I've not seen, as far as I know.
Ratatouille.
I haven't seen Ratatouille. Good call.
That's a good movie.
I've heard good things about Ratatouille too. That's like one that like went over me at the time, and it's just been so long. It's like you just forget about it. That's another summon, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ratatouille's a good one. So I'm gonna try and knock those out before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. Big Hero 6 was the big one because it's like a world and everything. But yeah, I feel like maybe I was a little bit. Personally, I was a bit more critical of it than most people I know that have seen it. I didn't love it, but I really liked it.
Only seen it once. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a good time. It's weird because I guess I just didn't realize it was a superhero movie.
Same.
But the thing is, like, when you're watching it, I don't know if you're with me on this, Nabishan. It didn't feel like a superhero movie until it is one.
Mm-hmm.
And then
nope, that's definitely the case.
But like also when going back and thinking about the story of that movie, it's like totally just a superhero, like an origin movie, from start to finish. But like I guess like that kind of halfway point, it just didn't necessarily feel like one. And maybe that's why I didn't love it as much as some other folks. Maybe it just took a little bit of time to click with me.
How long ago was that movie? Like 5 years ago?
That is a very good question. I feel like it wasn't that long, but it had to have been.
Because like I know people like that movie, and like you would think they would have made a sequel or even announced a sequel by now, but it never did. So I was just whatever that just came and went.
That is weird. It very much feels like that's 5 years ago, 2014. Nailed it. It feels like something that should have had a sequel, at least announced by now, right? Because it's so like the kind of where they leave off at the end of that movie is like, okay, where's the next one, right?
Exactly.
And I think a sequel to that could actually be really good. Something like kind of more hero-y, from start to finish, right? The Iron Man 2, if I may. Yeah, October 2014. I don't know. It was like I would say like I was surprised multiple times in the movie. I guess like the relationship with Baymax and like Baymax as a character, I guess I was surprised with. But like I went into it knowing spoiler warning. This is going to be relatively brief, but spoiler warning for anyone who doesn't want to know anything about Big Hero 6. I went into it knowing that the boy's older brother died. So like I feel like if that was a surprise, that it would have been way more impactful. But everyone who saw that movie, like that's all they talked about coming out of that movie, I feel, or at least to me. I just as I get older, I find it harder. Yeah, exactly. I find it harder and harder to believe that loss would make someone more hateful. And so, like, the way the villain of that movie is framed, it just did not make sense to me. Because, like, the villain is kind of driven by this great loss that he had that turns out to like not be a loss, right? That kind of gets resolved. And when the villain finds out that the older brother died trying to save him, he says, well, that was his fault. It's like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it was really hard for me to believe that that's how that person would react. Of like, I have lost someone very dear to my life, and now this person who, as far as anyone who saw their relationship, this person who the villain liked and respected lost someone really close to them and really important to them and really inspiring to them. I would have liked more of like a bond between those two characters to have formed, and then maybe the villain kind of betrays the character after the fact. But like, it's just like him being like, well, your brother died because he's stupid. It's like, man, that's just shitty and shallow and like so hard to believe. And that ended up really bothering me. I know that's like a very specific criticism, but and then like the villain's daughter gets saved in the end, and it's like he basically did all of that for nothing, and somebody died for nothing, and it's like, this seems so pointless. But like, I think the pervasive message of like, we never truly lose the people we care about is sweet. It is poignant. I guess I just had more problems with how they got there. But yeah, it's pretty good. Big Hero 6. I had fun watching it. It's very beautiful movie. Some of the shots of San Francisco look very, very realistic in a like super jarring way. That was awesome. Mike Burgess in our live chat points out correctly that there is a Big Hero 6 cartoon series. Kind of like that Buzz Lightyear cartoon series. Y'all remember that?
I do remember that.
I like that show a lot.
I don't remember enough about it to say if I liked it or not.
There was like a dumb robot guy.
Oh, yeah, Buzz.
No, Buzz was human.
Wait, I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that show was pretty good.
This show was all right. There was like the chubby alien guy, and he was cool. And then the lady.
It was basically supposed to be the Buzz Lightyear show that existed that created the toy.
That created the toy, exactly, yeah. It was cool. Like the intro was like Woody and Buzz and all the Toy Story folks like gathering around the TV to watch the Buzz Lightyear show. And it's like, oh, that's cool. That's cute. Hopefully there are Buzz Lightyear animated television show Easter eggs in Kingdom Hearts 3. We can only hope. I think that's really all I got into though, off topic wise, bonus content wise.
Did you watch Tron before Kingdom Hearts 2? And did you watch Tron Uprising before Kingdom Hearts 3D? I'm just curious.
Tron Legacy or Tron Uprising?
Sorry. Yes, Legacy.
I saw Tron Legacy when it came out. I love that movie.
Okay.
I'm like one of 3 people that likes that movie. It's got problems, but have you been replaying Dream Drop Distance? Is that why you ask? Or am I just speculating?
No, I was just asking because
I'm
just wondering like how often do you do that?
I did watch Tron after like the original Tron because I had not seen it after I played Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, excuse me, for the first time because I was familiar with Tron, and then like the Tron Space Paranoids is like one of my favorite worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2 because it's so cool. I'll admit I was a little disappointed with Tron, the original one, but just because it is like old.
It's old in the fact that it's like, wow, this can supposed to be about. No,
it's like it's very silly science fiction by today's standards, but at the time, like in the 80s, I'm sure it was fucking rad. Did you see? Did you watch the original Tron when you were growing up, Malvishan?
No, I never seen it before. I never seen it before until before Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. That's the reason I saw that movie.
Cool. What do you
I
think of
saw it
Tron?
before it came out.
It was nothing. Yeah, I didn't really like get a full grasp of it
Mm-hmm.
at the time. Because God, that was like what 2004,
Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005.
2005. So it probably was 2004 when I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wasn't really into it. Honestly, because I can't really remember a thing from it.
It's
And that's funny.
weird,
It's funny too because like I like older stuff like that. I just for some reason that one just didn't really like connect with me for whatever reason.
The thing like I remember the most from the original Tron is like there's a lot of long wide shots that are totally silent with no music of people climbing. And I'd love to see. I bet there's a compilation video of all those shots in the movie, like of the movie on YouTube or something. Love to look that up sometime. I'll have to Google search that after this. Mike Burgess says Tron Legacy is good, so I feel justified. Did you see Tron Legacy?
Yeah, I saw right before 3D came out.
What did you think of that
See
one?
that?
Didn't connect with me still.
Yeah, that's much more fair. Tron Legacy is a weird movie. Great soundtrack though. Goddamn.
Like Tron was in it for like maybe like 5 seconds, I think. I mean, he was in the entire movie.
He's
but, like,
in the entire movie, but you don't know it's him.
Yeah,
But you do
and
know it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, Jeff Bridges was like really just distracting in that movie.
Yeah, like CG Jeff Bridges is very like I think about CG Jeff Bridges in my head to this day because of how weird it is. And you think about like some of the stuff they did like in Rogue One of like weird CG reconstructions of people. It's like, man, it's still not good to this day. Like it's still not great. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I have a soft spot in my heart for Tron Legacy because I think the aesthetic of that movie is very much what I wanted the original Tron to look like. And I think some people also are on that same wavelength. So I get it. But it's kind of a boring movie. And not a lot happens.
I want to give Tangled a rewatch because I haven't seen it since it came out on Netflix when it like in 2000 like maybe like no that was 2011 when the last time I saw that movie.
Dude, nice.
So I haven't seen it since then. So I only watched it once and I loved it. So like I really want to check it out.
You should rewatch it. I think it's better on a second watch in my experience. I watched it 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, with a couple of friends. We played a Tangled drinking game. It was a very good time. Every time somebody gets hit with a frying pan.
So every time that horse gets sassy.
That should have been a rule. It wasn't, but it should have been. God, that horse is so good. Like the animal characters in that movie are just the best. But yeah, I should rewatch that too, just because that movie's so good. But yeah, it was funny. Nicole Humphrey, a friend of the show and mutual friend of ours, has been texting me on her journey through Kingdom Hearts. I assume she's probably been talking to you about it too.
Yeah, she has, but I've been so busy I haven't really like talked to her as much lately, so I feel bad. But like she like let me know when she beat 2, and like she said 2 is her favorite so far. So
yeah,
okay, cool.
I think she is now on the Birth by Sleep train, as far as I know. I don't know. I have to. She might be watching now, or she might tune in later. So maybe we'll find out. But yeah, she also liked Tron Legacy, and we commiserated on how absolutely dull the Tron Legacy world in Kingdom Hearts 3D is. Because it's very boring. At least I think so.
Yes, it is.
Let's you guys want to talk about video games?
Super Brawl is
sure.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so bad at this, Nobshin. Tell me about I want like a full give me the full brief review of Super Broly, because you came out of it very pleased, it seemed like.
Yeah, I was. Like my mouth was agape the entire time I watched it, honestly, because just like just visually how it
how does it look?
It looks insane when you really like watch it and like see what's going on. Like to kind of give like context of like what this movie is. Like you know how like a normal Dragon Ball Z movie is like maybe like an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fight scene for that movie is about the same length as an entire Dragon Ball Z movie.
That's awesome.
It's insanely long, but like it's insanely good all at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
And like they give a lot of lore in that movie, like more than you even think. And they did the impossible in my eyes. They did the impossible.
They made Broly cool.
They made Broly an actual fucking character.
Wow.
Not a literal like man baby like he is, in like the older sense, but like he has depth, he has reason. They give context to why he's so strong too. So it's like it's insane like how in depth it is. And like my only real complaint about it really is just like they fucked with some lore shit that's like just irritating to me. But like that's more of a thing. It's like that stuff doesn't hold up that much anymore, and like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Or like we're trying to make it still be fit in this canon that we have, but like we still want to do some new shit. So like we're gonna like expand a little bit more about like some of the same stuff, which is like some of it's really cool, but then it's like one character is like, yeah, like, totally fucked up this character, but like whatever, it's fine, I guess. But
Give me
yeah,
the specifics.
What character did they fuck up?
Bardock.
Oh, that's a bummer. I like Bardock.
I mean, they fucked him up in a good way, but like I like the old way. The old way is Bardock is a character who doesn't give a shit about his son, and like by circumstances,
either of his sons, right?
Yeah, but mostly he didn't really care about Kakarot. Kakarot was like, oh, he's a super low warrior. He's probably never going to amount to anything, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, like when he has the vision of the future of like what he's going to be and who's going to go against, it's like it's not that he cares about him. It's more of like you're the one who's going to like get rid of this thorn on our side, Frieza. So like, I need you to be this. I'm hoping that you'll be this person. But like he doesn't really care about him. Like that's the whole thing. And like and because of that, that's like in future episodes, like Goku doesn't really care about the Saiyans at the same time, because it's like, you guys never did anything for me. You guys are all ruthless. You're terrible people.
Yeah.
So like I don't really have to care about you. Like I can acknowledge my blood and like where I'm from, but like I don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
And like it makes sense. It all fits in and it's all good in here. And this one, they literally made Bardock kind of like Jor-El from Superman, like in like almost every sense of the way, like because like you see Goku's mom, and then like the whole thing that they fuck up is like Bardock steals like one of the same space pods to like get him off planet because he has a feeling that like Frieza's about to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So
they straight up Superman Goku's origin story.
They literally did. They put him in the pod. Goku's awake. He's supposed to be an infant. He's supposed to be like just like a day or two, a few days old.
Very,
like,
very young. Yeah.
But like he looks like he's probably like 1 or 2. And, like he has consciousness of what's going on. But like he sees like his mother and his father put in the pod, and he's like, oh, and they go, we love you, son. And he's like, and like Bardock's like, oh, like if I'm wrong, I'll come back and get you. Like he literally says that, and then they send him off. So yeah, it's just that fucks it up. I don't like. Funny enough, I don't like Bardock being a caring father.
But like it justifies, like, because Goku is like, he had a shitty dad who tried to get rid of him, and then like he was raised by Gohan, who loved him and like really took care of him. Like it helps us like empathize.
Hold
with
on
Goku.
a second. What?
What do you mean?
You just
Gohan
said
his
Gohan.
grandfather Gohan from the original Dragon Ball series, not his son Gohan.
Hold on a second.
Did you not know that the Goku's quote unquote grandfather is named Gohan?
No.
Yeah, they talk about it in Dragon Ball original. They don't really talk about it in Dragon Ball Z at any point. So, except for like the first episode. But yeah, to be fair, Grandpa Gohan. Goku's grandpa does not look like Gohan.
Well, I would figure that he didn't.
He looks like a little short. He's got like a white mustache. He's silly looking. I like him. Yeah, I get that. That's a totally reasonable lore complaint to have an option.
Yeah, but like I said,
like to be fair, he had a shitty dad for all of 2 days.
Yeah.
Because like they never knew each other.
Yeah, and now it's like them kind of
Like him being a shitty dad amounted him to forgetting that his son was being born today.
them retconning.
And then he died.
Them retconning in like that that Goku was older when they sent him is a little suspect.
yeah, it's all about the stuff, but like it's still like got some really good stuff in there. Like you find out where the Scouters come from. Frieza's like an amazing character in that movie, even though like people are complaining about like his motivations in that movie, but like it's actually a really good.
I feel like did they make Frieza like cool in
Super?
In Super?
Yeah, Frieza is like.
Because he's like I've been doing a little light reading. I heard about because they announced the new DLC character Jiren for fighters. So I was like watching a fight with them, and then I watched a segment of a fight from Super with like Goku and Frieza fighting against him. And I was like, this seems kind of cool.
Frieza, like if you could say like Vegeta is like the best character from Z as far as like a character development type of thing, it would be Frieza in Super, and weirdly enough,
that's super cool though.
Yeah, because like I guess I don't know how much you want me to go into.
We don't have to get too into it because I had another Super Broly question, but you can give me the cliff notes.
It's kind of a spoiler, but I guess it's not really. Like, I don't know if you really care if I say something about Super.
You can. I will probably watch it at some point, but I'm not too upset about spoilers.
Okay, so like at the end of Super, Frieza gets brought back to life, and so like pretty much it's like he's just there. So everyone's back on Earth, everybody's happy, cool about it, but he's out there in the universe. He's Frieza. He's still a bad guy. He still like kills people. He still does everything under the Frieza Force and everything like that. But it's like, it's like, it's like he's just like a character, like because in Super he gets brought up to the point where it's like he knows that like Goku and Vegeta are stronger than him, and it's like. In the Broly movie, like his wish is like not something like you would think he would wish for, like from like the older Frieza that you knew. It's like something completely different, but it's actually it's really good for his character. It's kind of what kind of person he is like sure he could do something like make something trivial, but like he's like, where's the fun in that? I still want to have fun and stuff like that. So it's like it's like a really good like development for his character. So like,
it's cool that they added depth to him because like he is probably the most favored Dragon Ball Z villain, right? So
for sure,
because he kind of gets the most time. There are people that like Cell.
Yeah, it's like Cell will be the only other contentious one.
I like Perfect Cell. All the other forms are fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't like weird suction tail Cell at any point in time. And I don't. There are things to like about Boo.
You're trying to say you don't want to get eaten by Cell's tail?
Absolutely not. But like I feel like the whole all of the different forms of Boo, not any one in particular is deep or interesting. Even regular Majin Buu, even when he becomes a good guy. But yeah, that's cool. My question about Super Broly, and then we'll move into the real show, is do they sufficiently justify Goku and Vegeta having to fuse? Because it's very hard for me to believe that Vegeta would do the fusion dance.
Yes. Yes. Because if you take the because like they done Vegeta before, which was just a Patara earring. So
which
and
they
like
they retconned into being temporary.
Yes.
Kind of retconned because it whatever. We don't have to get
and
into
like
it.
obviously like the 12th movie didn't happen as far as lore wise. So like it's just like there's a good reasoning. It's and it's like the reasoning of what Vegeta is at this point in his life right now. So it's like, yeah, of course he would do this now.
I will say, like, one of my favorite things from GT is Gogeta, so it is cool that they kind of canonized him. How do you feel about that?
Gogeta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Gogeta.
Okay.
It's great.
I think it's cool. Like I think Vegito is also very cool. It's weird that they have to be like two different characters, like that they have to be different people just by the circumstance of how they fuse. I think it's kind of cool on like a lore level of like the different. If you fuse one way, it is a different thing. Is Gogeta more powerful than Vegito? Did they establish that?
They never get into that really. Damn. And like obviously there's still like that 30-minute time limit and stuff like that. So like
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's cool though. Like if they justify it and they make that like they make that fight like tense and the stakes are high, that's cool.
Yeah. Like honestly, there's stuff in that movie that's like you can't believe that you're seeing this. Like, and I'll just give one example. Seriously, we need to fuck move on. Kind of talk about this all day. But like,
I love it though. I'm very excited about it.
I think it was Goku fighting Broly. I think it was exactly that part in the fight. But like, they do this scene where it's like they go first person with Broly, and like you just see him like you see them fighting, and I think he was beating up Goku at the time. So like. You see him like flying super fast. You see him like throw Goku into a mountain. Then you see like in first person you going through the mountain like beating up Goku, and then you see yourself like throwing like either ki blast and stuff like that, and like punching Goku stuff like that, flying around, zipping around, all in first person. And that was insane to see. Like I'm seeing this firsthand, like what this fight would actually look like, and there's tons of moments like that. It's all over that movie.
That's really cool.
It's oozing in that movie.
Plus, it being like all hand drawn and whatnot, I feel like it just elevates everything.
Yeah, right. There is some like CG moments, but like it's not like egregious as it was like in Resurrection F, where like it looked completely off. There's some really great moments in that movie.
Okay, one last thing. Of the three DB Super movies, because I'll include Battle of Gods as a super movie, basically.
Those are all Dragon Ball movies. Except this is the only super movie.
This is the only super movie of those three of this trilogy of movies that have the resurgence of Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. Is this the best one?
It probably is for a lot of reasons. Like I really like Battle of Gods because like it brought back Dragon Ball to like the way it was, and like even like what people didn't like about Battle of Gods, which I really loved. I said that's more of a Dragon Ball movie than it's a Dragon Ball Z movie.
Yeah,
and it's like it didn't really get Dragon Ball Z till like the very end. But I really, really adore that movie, and I think it's one of the best. Super Broly brings like a lot of like a lot of stuff that like you didn't even think Dragon Ball could do as far as like character depth. Mm-hmm. Of all characters, Broly.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
And it's kind of like if you really think of it as like this is more of like because if you think of it like Broly isn't the villain of this movie, but like he's kind of the hero. Like it completely like flips it on its head. It's so good. It's a really good movie. Damn. It's probably the best. Yes.
Okay, I'll have to see it now. Damn, so I never saw Resurrection F. So all right. You convinced me, Nobshin. All right, let's talk about video games. You guys got your Audacities ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Scott.
1 second.
All right, I'll wait.
I'm ready.
All right. On 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on.
Stop.
It stopped and deleted. It's done.
Okay, all right.
We're doing it over again.
All right, stopped and
I
deleted.
have made my final decision.
Scott has decided.
3, 2, 1.
All
we
right.
started.
No, let's fucking count down right now.
I wasn't ready for that one.
I know.
All right. Are you ready now, Tony?
Yeah.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We good?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Give me 1 sec. I have to send one message.
Hold on. That means I have to stop and delete the track.
No.
uh,
Fucking do.
Any reason?
Did you delete your track? No.
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Navashin knows better.
It's true. It's always like everyone else is onto your bullshit except for me, Scott.
That's the best part.
It's true. You always get me. All right. Cool. Let's do it. It's 2019. That's the year, right? It is January 19th. Oh, man, I fucked up. I forgot the Saturday part. Oh.
Yeah, you pulled a Scott over there.
I pulled a Scott. All right. It is Saturday, January 19th, 2019, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, as always, we have Scott Guthier.
Hi.
Tony Horvath.
Oh,
Scott saying hi from like the other room. And Brian Nabishin Jackson.
This isn't a battle anymore. It's a motherfucking war.
Is that a battle? Is that a Super Broly quote?
A what?
A Super Broly quote?
Oh, no.
Oh, damn.
Why would I say motherfucker?
I don't know. That's why I was like, man, Dragon Ball goes hard suddenly. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the Irrational Passions Podcast. Welcome back. Back to normal, regular shows. No more Game of the Year shows. I don't have to think about Game of the Year for another 12 months. Well, 10 months, realistically. We're back. It's time. It's a new year. New us. We're going to talk about video games. We're going to have a good time. Thank you, everyone who tuned in to our Game of the Year content, whether it be the editorial side of things or the Irrational Passions podcast side of things, our side of things. Did you end up listening to any of it, Nabishin? The editorial stuff?
Only got through day one because that's all I had time for, honestly.
I got you. No hard feelings. No worries. Did you watch our Game of the Year video, or are you trying to save it for when the deliberations? You're listening to all of them.
Yeah, there's spoilers, so I didn't watch it.
Okay, cool. I won't spoil it then, but congratulations to our editorial Game of the Year winner. Congratulations to the Irrational Passions podcast Game of the Year winner. Go listen to those shows to find out what we won.
Any feedback on that? Because I've been out of it. As far as our winner, I was just curious.
Not yet. We got a little bit a couple of tweets about most valuable guests. As always, the most contentious category, I guess. Logan Moore just let me know that he appreciates me fighting for him, and I believe Barrett texted me a blushy face emoji of some kind. But a little bits and pieces, just mostly like people enjoying the conversations. But yeah, if you haven't listened, there's a bunch of stuff out there. There's videos announcing all the winners of the editorial side of stuff, as we only did 8 categories, so a little bit easier to produce stuff for. But that we did a video kind of announcing, for those who had not listened to the deliberations, but also showcasing and celebrating our editorial Game of the Year. And I'm really, really proud of it. I actually sat down and showed my roommate last night, and he was like, wow, dude, that was fucking dope. And I was like, thanks, man. But yeah, it's a warm, fuzzy feeling. So to kick off the new year, housekeeping, one big thing, kind of announcement type thing, that kind of goes along with the editorial stuff. We are irrationalpassions.com, the 7 of us on the editorial side of things, are looking to expand our team with one new member. Currently, one new member. And you can apply now. I say apply gingerly because it is not a paid position. It is a volunteer position, just like the rest of us. We're kind of just throwing ourselves out there. But yeah, we're looking for a new, quote unquote, new voice to join the team.
And I think there is some subtext to be read with that. But to be quite clear and just kind of put aside any miscommunication, we're looking for preferably not another white dude to join the team, to hopefully diversify some of the...
Shit.
I know, Tony. To diversify some of the opinions we have on the team, and also challenge us in new ways, just to be more conscious of things, or to be more into things. So
I did find it a funny bit during the day one of the liberation.
Me calling George White.
You call it white dudes, yes.
Yeah. That one got thrown at me a couple of times in the Slack. And I'm like, yep, I'm problematic just when, like, in very short, subtle bursts, but it's still there, y'all. But yeah, I mean, it was a big thing of, like, after those conversations we had, it was a thing of like, hey, yeah, we should incorporate maybe some new perspectives into this. It's a thing I've been thinking about for a while. I'm not saying that, like, you shouldn't apply if you think your work is good and if you think you can challenge our opinions, but I will emphasize that we're not necessarily looking to keep our team as homogenous as it is now. So, just take that what you will. I don't want anyone to not submit because of that, but I do want...
That's right, Navishin, you're one of the white dudes.
Yeah, you're one of the white people now.
Just now. Certification acquired.
No, but yeah, no, I'll attempt to not be problematic in 2019. It's my new Year's resolution. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited. We've gotten some really, really cool applications so far. If you want to know more, it's on my Twitter, Alfighter27. Big thing is, like, we are not necessarily looking for, like, a veteran to join us. If you are completely new or have very limited experience, but you're very passionate and you want to work with a team, understanding that you are going to be kind of accountable and part of a team and part of a cog in a much bigger thing, absolutely hit me up and fill out the form and let us know. I'm really excited. I think there's a lot of potential in what we're doing. We've already had, like, some really exciting opportunities opened up to us just in this first month of the year, as far as, like, reaching out to different publishers that we've never communicated with, and getting new things, like new opportunities as far as covering games that I'm super stoked about. I meant to tell you guys before we started recording, but we're live now, and I don't necessarily want the world to know them quite yet. But I'll tell y'all after.
Will this get me a free pass to PAX East?
Maybe we'll keep it on the possible list. But yeah, I'm really excited for irrationalpassions.com in 2019, and I'm really excited for Irrational Passions podcasts in 2019. So let's get right into it. That's really all the housekeeping you need to know. Check out our Game of the Year stuff, irrationalpassions.com. It's all over the front page. We have a nice little Game of the Year carousel with all the podcasts and stuff. Listen to our deliberations, listen to the editorial ones, watch the videos on YouTube. And stay tuned for some new shows, new stuff that we're working on that I'm very excited about. Let's talk about video games. I don't typically do this, especially a new year, but I've been playing some video games that I'd like to talk about. Namely, I'm starting off strong. I want to talk about Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition.
Bro, I've been seeing all your Xbox achievements, dude.
That's true, yeah. I've been popping achievements left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is out. I've been playing it. I'm very excited about it. We got a code from Namco for it, which was one of those opportunities I was very excited about. Scott White and I had already purchased the game, so we might be giving that away on a dedicated Tales of Vesperia podcast that we might be doing in the near future. But let's talk about it. I want to talk about the bad first, so we can talk about the good.
The bad, nothing. The good.
Yeah, bad, nothing. Let's get into it. So the voice acting, we got to talk about it because it's weird. So for folks who don't know, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is a re-release and a remaster to 1080p and in some cases 60 FPS of a PS3 game that came out in 2008 or 2009. Which was a re-release of a 360 game, an Xbox 360 exclusive in the era of Microsoft trying to get more Japanese-centric exclusives on their console from 2007, I believe, either that or 2008, with additional content, right? The stuff that they put in this Japan-only release PS3 version was like 2 additional party members, one of which is a completely new character. And the other is a character who is like kind of central to the story, and joins you for like this kind of special battle, but does not actually end up joining the party. So it's a lot of new content. I would compare this game to Persona 4 Golden, in the kind of content that they added and the quality of content that they added. It's very high quality. It's very good stuff that kind of fleshes out the world and makes it feel like a fuller experience. I think you could still walk away from the original version of Tales of Vesperia thinking it's one of the best JRPGs ever made, which is where kind of I was at. As much as I could say the same for the original version of Persona 4, but this version, as far as I can tell, is kind of better in every way. So that is like just the scope of it. A big part of the re-release is making Tales of Vesperia a fully voice-acted video game. The original release was, I would say, 65-35 ratio for voice acting. So most of it was voice acted, but there were several cutscenes that were not. Some of it was weird. Like half of a cutscene would be voice acted, and there would be like kind of no transition, and then it would just be voice acted, or not voice acted to voice acted. So now everything is voice acted. So this game came out 10 years ago. And it's been 10 years since the kind of PS3 Japanese cast was done. And you have the option to play this with the full Japanese voiceover. So if you want, you can, which I think is cool. I think if you play that version of this game, this does not apply to you. It's probably totally fine. But the original voice cast of Tales of Vesperia for the 360 release was great. Troy Baker plays the lead role. Yuri Lowell does a great job. One of his earliest roles in video games that I can remember, and he crushes it. And he did not come back to do the new lines of VO for this game. So there,
by no fault of his own.
By no fault of his own, he was not asked, not approached about it. So some of the voice actors did come back. Some of them didn't. Most cases, you can very much tell. So there are kind of two ways that this will happen. Either there will be totally new voice acted sections of the game, right, that were just not voice acted before, and they are now. Or there are new lines of dialogue that had to be re-recorded because, let's say, it's a cutscene that involves Patty, and so like there's now mid-cutscene that was previously voice acted, there's a line of dialogue that addresses Patty or is changed a little bit, and that has the new voice acting, and then the rest of the cutscene has the original voice acting.
So wait, hold on a second. Is like Patty out of the game now? Or?
Patty was one of the new character that they added to the definitive edition. I didn't mention that, but she's one of the 2 new party members that you get. She's very good. So like, she's like a totally new character. She wasn't in the original version of the game at all, in any way. She wasn't even referenced as far as I can tell. So now she is like a character that you meet relatively early on in the game that is totally new, that eventually joins the party. I'm at the section of the game where she's finally joined the party permanently, which I would say is about the halfway point of the game. Which is cool because like most of the party members you get are like in the first 10 hours. And now it's like 25 hours in, somebody joins the game. It's like, oh, cool. So
it's weird because there are cutscenes where like large sections of it is the original VO, and then like Yuri will say, like, the character will say something and it's a different voice actor, and then it immediately switches back to Troy Baker. And to some extent, I get it, because like if you have 30 plus hours of Troy Baker VO, you're not just gonna fucking throw that out the window. Plus, it would have probably made the production pipeline for this definitive edition a lot longer. But it's just weird. Like Persona 4 Golden is a great example, because some voice actors didn't come back, or they got new voice actors for them, specifically Chie and Teddy, and they just redid all the VO with them. I think they might have just redone the VO as a whole for that game. I don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. But like, that makes sense, right? Erin Fitzgerald comes in to be the new voice actress for Chie, and I think she does a great job. I like the original Chie voice actor, but I like Erin Fitzgerald's version a lot more. And it's like, okay, at least it's consistent front to back. It's the same actor. This, it's jumping around constantly. And if you play the game in English, you will fucking notice, and it sucks. It's a bummer. Big part of that is too, like, they're like these little skits. They're called skits. They're kind of like inter-party conversations about random topics or things that are going on in the world, or parts of the world, or lore, et cetera, et cetera. They're just kind of character building conversations. And they're really fun. It's a staple of the Tales franchise, and they did a great job with them here. And the ones with new voice acting just sound like they haven't been mixed well. Like, the audio design on it they sound way quieter and way less equalized than the regular skits that have like carried over from the original version of the game.
One second.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of worse if you were trying to watch it subbed?
Well, as far as I know,
most of the time, the change in voice signifies a change in characters when it's subbed.
Well, as far as I know, all the voice acting from the PS3 version, which was again done like a year after the original 360 version, all the Japanese VO is the same voice actors. So, and that all carried over here. So if you're playing the Japanese version, everybody's the same, everything's fine, everything's good. It's only the English VO, which was just done like last year, that is different. And it's effective.
Oh, so I personally would have never known. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I said, if you play it in English, which I do, because I like the English voice actors of the original at the very least, you can just tell, man. It's not, like, I would say it's not bad. I think, like, some of the voice actors came back, but they just sound different now. They sound 10 years older, as you would think. Like, one of the characters is like a young boy who's played by a woman, and she just sounds different now, like, she just sounds like a slightly different person, and some of the inflections are a little bit different. The thing, like, so many parts about the audio in this game just feel unpolished, because like it's clear that like after hours into the game, like the voice actors kind of settled into their role. Like, they get better as the game goes on, in like their delivery and how much they sound like the characters. And it's like, man, they just didn't go back and re-record the earlier lines in the game, huh? They didn't like try and make it a little bit more consistent front to back. The guy they get to play, Yuri, does not sound like Troy Baker. But he does a pretty good Yuri, I'll say. He's pretty good to that character. Some of his inflections and stuff. Same with the new voice actor they got to play Judith. New voice actor they got to play Raven, which are the party members for folks' reference. It's a bummer.
The guy who kind of sounds like Troy Baker, but it's not Troy Baker.
It's not that guy, which I don't know why they didn't get that guy.
Who? Trey Barker.
Trey Barker. They didn't get Trey Barker. They did not, because like he is the guy you're talking about, Namishin, who I can't think of his name at all. He is in Tales of Xillia. Sounds like a knockoff Troy Baker to a T. Not that that's a bad thing, but he has kind of his tone of voice and his cadence a lot more. They did not get him, and it's weird. Like, why didn't they just get a better sound alike? This dude does not sound like Troy Baker. But again, he kind of sounds like Yuri. Like, as far as like the tone and how he talks and whatnot. It's just a bummer because it makes the game feel really, really unpolished when totally outside of that, it feels very polished and mechanically it's very good. And it's like been rebalanced and retweaked. It's like a little bit harder than it was before, which is great because Tales of Vesperia has like a very unsteep difficulty curve of like at a point you just get really, really, really powerful. And then at the very end, it gets very, very hard out of nowhere. So I'm curious to see how that goes through to the end. But yeah, like the audio again, I'm a little bit of an audiophile, so it sticks out to me more. But like the mixing not being the same, the levels not being the same, the EQ and compression not being the same for some of the audio. Like some of the VO is quiet for no reason, and some of it is like too loud, or and then like all of the original stuff sounds mixed and well done. Plus, like there are new lines of dialogue to kind of like make some cutscenes a little bit clearer, which are very good, and I like actually genuinely add a lot to the game of like, why is this person with us? Well, I guess we're just not going to address it. Whereas like in this version, they added some lines of dialogue to talk about, oh, like, yeah, this person's here, or like they did that, et cetera, to kind of flesh things out and make it more cohesive, which is another thing that Persona 4 Golden did very well. But those lines will have different VO, and then it'll immediately go to a cutscene with all the original voice acting. It's like, man, it's just a mess. That aside, like it bothers me, and I think it's gonna bother people totally new to this game way, way more, and that really bums me out. Like Nobishin, if you ever played this, like I feel like it's all you would notice, and that really,
Probably, honestly,
yeah, it's really bums me out. Because like I still wholeheartedly recommend this. It's one of the best JRPGs ever made, and I think everyone should play it. But maybe just play it with Japanese VO. Which Nobishin, that's what I would recommend to you. But yeah, that's all the bad stuff. Good stuff, everything else. Plays great, looks great, runs great. You were telling me Nobishin, apparently the base Xbox One version does not run at 60 FPS. But the base PS4 version does. That's kind of a bummer. I'm playing on Xbox One X. It's locked 60 frames per second. And it looks great, feels great there. There's new abilities, there's new lines of dialogue, there's new cutscenes. There's like new dungeons. Like I didn't know this because I have not known what is in this version of this game forever. Like I kind of know. Like I know Flynn is a party member now, and I know Patty's like a brand new character who's a party member as well. But I don't know anything about Patty. I don't know how they changed Flynn's character to make him fit in the party. But it's not just that. Like there are sections of this game that are totally new, like dungeons and areas that you will go through that like flesh out the world a lot more. Like Patty's backstory is all about like the guilds and this whole kind of part of like the world is based around like this empire who's kind of like they won the war, they rule the world, it's fine. And then the guilds who have kind of like moved to a separate continent, they've essentially denounced themselves from the empire, not on bad terms, but they're like, I want to be my own person, so I'm gonna kind of live on my own. And the empire is pretty well fleshed out, and kind of like the story of how the empire was formed, et cetera, et cetera. It's all part of the main story, but the guilds, they're just kind of there. You don't really know how that all started. But now in this version of the game, like they've added sections of the game where they fleshed that out of like, here's where the guild started. Here are like the kind of original founders. Here is the situation that kind of made the guilds necessary. And like stories like that they kind of tertiarily referenced in the original game are now being fleshed out. And like there's extra dialogue and extra side quests about that. And that's really cool. I didn't know that, and it's been really cool to see that stuff. And it just fleshes out that story, makes me love that game even more. Almost everything that they've added to this game just makes me like it more, and it makes the story even better, which is great. So I think it is phenomenal. Plays great. There's like new abilities, new skills. Obviously, the new party members change up the dynamic a lot. What's cool is Flynn, who is a character in the game before,
He's like that party member that kind of joins your crew for a little bit. Now they have like rewritten his character in a lot of ways to be different in a way that it makes more sense that he would join your party and be a part of the crew. And I was really worried when they started seeding some of that stuff, but like it changes that character in a way that's like really interesting and really, really cool. Because what's cool about him is he kind of joins your group at the end of each major act of the games. There's 3 major acts, and he'll like join the party at the end of Act 1 for like the final dungeon and boss, and then he'll join your party at the end of Act 2 for the final dungeon and boss, and then he joins your party permanently at the end of Act 3. And the reason that he joins and like his justification of having to like leave his post and everything is really, really cool. And the stuff they do around that is really cool. Which I was really surprised by. I was really pleasantly surprised by. So, it's really great. I'm just so happy that I finally get to play like this version of this game. The voice acting stuff is a big bummer. And it really, like, honest to God, there are some scenes where like, and it's the shittiest part about the voice acting is exactly the voice acting that they didn't change, right? So it's like you can see how they cut around stuff to make the new characters work, and it makes it very, very apparent, and it's just such a bummer. So, but like there are scenes though where it's like all of the original voice cast and Flynn and Patty, the two new characters, and they're all talking, and they didn't have to change any dialogue or re-record any dialogue. And it's like you see like just for like one cutscene at a time every couple of hours, you see like, this is what this game would have been like if it was perfect. It's like, no, this isn't this game though. And that's honestly, like, I don't know if that makes it all worse. I couldn't tell you. But regardless, I'm having a great time playing it, and I still wholeheartedly recommend it, especially like it being on Switch. It's like such a perfect. I've every single night when I go to bed, I'm like, man, if I could just play a little bit more Tales of Vesperia on Switch, I would. So now I'm thinking about. I've had to stop myself from buying it a second time on Switch. So that's where I'm at in my life. But yeah, I'm having a great time with it. I'm about 25 hours in. And it's great. It's one of the best JRPGs ever made, and I think everybody should play it.
How far did you get on the PS3 version? I know you didn't get too far when you played that one.
I got because I tried to I thought about that a lot while I was playing too, because I was like, did I get to this point? I got maybe 8 hours in. I think it's right to the point.
That's still significant for you.
Yeah, it was a good chunk, considering I had no idea what the fuck anyone was saying. I had like somebody hand translated all of the dialogue in the game and had a series of screenshots. Every single screen where a bubble. Stop, Siri. I was not talking to you. They took the text bubble of all the characters and wrote in them the translation, so you could look at a series of screenshots that was every single line of dialogue translated for every major cutscene in the game. So whoever did that, wherever you are, thank you, because you're the only reason I got 8 hours into that game. I got to the point where you meet Patty for the first time because I wanted to see what that was like. I think I will say Patty's voice actor is fucking perfect, and she's like amazing. I love her. I was very worried that she wouldn't like fit in the group, but she's great. And the best part is like I know like the kind of running joke throughout of her character is that she's in love with Yuri, and she's like a 14-year-old girl. And he's a grown-ass man, and he's like, chill. Like every time she's like, are you here for me? He's like, you need to stop. And it's very funny. It's a good running gag. But the best part is like that I wasn't anticipating is her interactions with the other party members of
when she talks to them about how her and Yuri are gonna get married, the way they're like, you're crazy, right? And like just all the kind of dialogue in that regard is very good. And also like the stuff with Flynn of like he is Yuri's best friend and they have a relationship, and him and Estelle have a relationship, who's like the kind of second main character of that game. But like there's a skit that is like between Flynn and Judith, and it's like, oh, this was a character dynamic I never thought I would get, but I'm like super happy I got. And it's just, again, fleshing out those characters and bringing a lot new to a game that is like tried and true for me. That's like really refreshing and really, really cool. Just deepens the whole experience. It's very good.
Could this mean you beat the game, obviously, so I don't know, but like, could it potentially get a sequel?
Yes, I've thought about this a lot. Yes, totally. I think there's room for a sequel. The shitty thing about that is like there are a lot of stakes by the end of that game. I don't, without spoiling anything, because I know a lot of people are playing it for the first time now. Like the high stakes at the end of that game, like just like most JRPGs, like the end of the world and whatnot.
Yeah, dude, remember that one time in a JRPG where there was a fucking world-ending camp?
Yeah, it's true. It's so like that, it's not necessarily new to that, but essentially like, and it's one of the things I love about the story of Tales of Vesperia is like, there is no resolution to that game without a huge sacrifice on the part of not just like the main characters, but everyone in the world. And it's like, they end the game like right before, like right at the end of kind of like the final battle, and you don't necessarily see how that turns out. And I think that's cool. I think it being left ambiguous is really cool, and it's something that not a lot of games have done. Tales of Symphonia has a very similar ending, and it's a very good ending. And I think it's why that game's story has aged a little bit better than most other Tales games.
How do you feel it compares to the ending of Tales of Grace's?
It's much better, in my opinion.
Okay.
But like I think Tales of Grace establishes the stakes well. But there is like an agreement on the part of everyone that like we need to change. It's like, in a way, it is kind of like an allegory for, I'm having an idea now, and I don't know if I want to say it. I didn't think of this until just this moment. I'll say this. It's like an allegory for global warming, of like, we need to be better and we need to do better. That's kind of how that game ends. I'd love to see what that world looks like years after the end of Tales of Vesperia, but also something that could easily fuck up. So I've thought about it a lot, Namishan. I don't know. I hope so. I hope there are still stories to tell in that world, because it's certainly my favorite Tales world. So, and I think it's the only Tales game where there's not two worlds, because that's like the thing they do in every single one of their games.
Yeah,
there's just another planet.
It always goes to fucking space, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, fair. It's totally fair, but it's weird. I don't know. I hope so, Namishan.
You know what just occurred to me?
What?
The type of planets, like the way that they describe planets in the Tales, is very similar to the way certain planets in Stellaris are described.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a certain world-ending weapon that you can get in Stellaris that essentially creates Tales world.
Huh. Like splits them into two?
No, so, like some of them will have like an atmosphere that blocks them from the rest of space and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can make that in Stellaris.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts, dude.
I'm making one right now.
That's really cool.
Although we have to get that game back up and running. I don't think we're gonna do it though.
Yeah, I believe in you guys.
So we haven't touched that Stellaris game in a while.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
But yeah, I just thought about that. I was like, wait a minute. I've been making JRPGs this whole time.
Yeah, it's true. You're creating JRPG stories.
Yeah, like the people who are making Tales games and other JRPGs, they just like they watch our Stellaris games. They're like, we can use.
Yeah, that makes sense. There are no original ideas anymore, so. That's enough on Tales of Vesperia. It's amazing. Somebody in our chat when we were doing bonus content asked if it's grindy. It's not. I've been thinking about like a little mini guide to write on it. Of like, hey, if you're jumping into this game, here are like 5 things you should know, or 5 things you should do.
Can we put it this way?
Mm-hmm.
It's grinding can solve your problems, but if grinding does solve your problems, you're probably doing it wrong.
I wouldn't say that. But there's this thing called weapon skills. Basically, each weapon that you have and can craft have skills tied to it. Some of them are really useful, like combo plus, like have an additional hit in your combo. And if you use that weapon enough, you will eventually permanently learn the skill from the weapon. And it's probably worth grinding out some weapon skills because you're going to get weapons faster than you're going to learn skills in normal play. But at no point until like maybe the final boss, did I have to like grind and level up. So yeah, you don't. If you want to like grind for certain materials to make certain weapons or pieces of equipment, sure. There's ways to like get more money, get more like have it more likely that rare items will drop, things like that. And that all that stuff is like end game, like very end of the game, before you go into the final dungeon type stuff. And then like grinding out weapon skills if you want to, which you at no point have to. You can totally not pay attention to weapon skills and you'll probably get through that game okay, especially if you're playing on normal. But you will have a much deeper, much richer experience if you spend some time learning some of those skills and going through and equipping the ones that you like and finding a playstyle that actually fits how you want to play it. What's cool is like they assume everyone is going to play Yuri throughout most of the game because he's like the most action-y character. But you can play any character in that game. And Flynn is like a very viable character to play. And that's cool. Like he's as approachable as Yuri is, I would say. He's a little bit slower and he can cast magic, but
yeah, dude. I'm a Genus main.
Yeah, everybody's a Genus main, really. But yeah, I love weapon skills. It's like one of my favorite JRPG systems. They actually brought it back in Tales of Berseria, and it's great in that game too. So, yeah, it is not grindy.
That isn't the game with Genus in it, right?
No, that's Tales of Symphonia.
No, I was just making a fucking sick reference.
Hell yeah, dude! Shout out to Genus. One
timely reference.
Timely reference.
Dude.
It's literally a reference only we will get on this podcast.
Yeah.
A couple other things I've been playing real quick because I don't have like a lot here. It's mostly Tales. We were playing Ori and the Blind Forest for book club. That game still phenomenal. I bought this game I heard on the Giant Bomb Game of the Year podcast, Crosscode. Which is a PC only, like top-down action game, like kind of Zelda-like, kind of Metroid-like, kind of like Secret of Mana-like, I guess.
Getting your feet wet in the PC games.
It literally my thought with Crosscode was like, I don't want to have another Hollow Knight. Like I don't want to wait to play a game that I might love. Which is telling of like how deeply Hollow Knight affected me. And Crosscode sounded like that. And so far it's really cool. I only played the first couple of hours. It's funny because it is like exactly the JRPG story that I've been wanting a JRPG to deliver me, but I've not found a good fit for it. You are a character, a person playing as a character in an MMO. And what's cool is it's like a planet, like a legit real planet that exists in the world that you play. People on Earth will like sock it into like avatars using like their VR headsets, very Sword Art Online. But then the avatar will appear on this planet somewhere in the cosmos, and they will be able to kind of run around this island on this planet freely. And that is like a planet made for this game that people can play, or cultivated for this game that people can play, which it's a really cool idea. And what's cool even beyond that is like you start out on like a cargo ship as like a tutorial area, and it's a cargo ship occupied by the maintenance crew that fix up the world as the players like run through and wreck it. So it's a really interesting story idea. It's like a top-down action game. I guess I don't really have a point of comparison. It is an action RPG, so it's very fast-paced and fun. I didn't play a lot of it, but I played some of it, and it seems cool. Hopefully it's not too grindy. It seems like it could be, but so far so good. I don't have a lot of thoughts on it yet, but I like the premise a lot. I played the Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo. Nabashin, have you played this?
I'd have.
What did you think of it?
Those are good.
Yeah, I think it's really good too. I was like chomping at the bit to play Resident Evil 2 after the end of it. I guess I totally forgot another little bit of housekeeping. Friend of the show, Andrew Taylor, and I are doing a limited run Resident Evil 2 podcast, where we are going to play through Resident Evil 2, and we are going to talk about each major section of the game per episode. 3 episodes for the first campaign, 3 episodes for the second campaign. And I'm really excited. It's kind of like book club, but different. We talked about having it be a book club, and decided to just do it as a podcast because it's kind of Andrew's thing, but it's going to be posted on irrationalpassions.com, which is excited. I'm excited to collaborate with Andrew. Obviously, I love that boy, and our playthrough of Resident Evil 5 is legendary. It's kind of like where this idea started. We talked about doing it off mic when we were playing that game. And I'm really excited about it. We're going to try and get Michael Huber on the last episode because I think that would be fun. And also, I want to talk to someone at length who knows like the original game versus the remake, because this is going to be the only version of that game that I play. I'll say I was surprised at how much like Resident Evil 7 it is. Aesthetically, I guess. UI-wise and whatnot. But it was a pleasant surprise. I was very happy with it. So yeah, I'm very excited for that one. I played the demo twice, once on Xbox, once on PS4. Personally, I think it looks better on Xbox. Just throwing it out there. A lot less texture pop in on Xbox, in my experience.
I don't know why you wouldn't think it wouldn't look better.
I know, but like, there's weird shit out there, like the Tails thing. So like, and sometimes things are poorly optimized. So like, Monster Hunter World is like comparable between PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. Like different weird things. So just throwing it out there. I guess the only other thing I have on here, I've been replaying Mass Effect 2 as well. I have no idea. Oh, I do know what spurring this on. I finished watching Mass Alex.
Yeah. Season 1.
Season 1 of Mass Alex, which is great. Giant Bomb series. Talked about it on our Game of the Year show. I loved it.
Yeah, I can't lie. I definitely did skip over a little bit of that side questing because it was just too.
Yes, it was a lot. It was a lot of like, oh yeah, Mass Effect 1 side quests.
These are like,
just like, all the plans being the same and whatnot. It's a bummer. But so I watched that and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play Mass Effect 2. I can't not. I have to. I fucking have to. God, Lord Almighty, I need to inject this game into my veins. That game is still great to this day, to this exact moment. That I know I'm preaching to the choir here, Nabashin, to you at least, but that game holds up. And I feel like it holds up in ways that I thought it wouldn't. Like I'll admit, like some of the shooting is a little it's not bad by any means, but it's a little There's
Cover
a-
systems,
y-
not the base.
Yeah, it's a lot of like duck under cover, shoot a guy, hold under cover, chill for a little bit, shoot a guy. But
Now
like,
you can understand why people like the RPG aspects of one a lot.
yeah, I do get it.
Because they improved the shooting, but they didn't improve it so much that it can carry the game completely on its own.
Yeah. Um, it's. I'm trying to think of like a third-person shooter. That I guess like Uncharted would be like a comparison, but like I feel like it's so weird to compare those two. But like a run and shooty game that's like a lot. They feel a lot faster paced than I would say Mass Effect 2 does by modern standards. Of like you're moving between pieces of cover a lot faster, and it's a lot smoother to get in and out of cover. But even still, like I am like amazed at how a lot of the dialogue holds up. A lot of the voice acting is still like phenomenal. And like the scenarios and the stories, like the little stories that they tell in that game are still really, really, really good. And I'm playing as a femshep because I wanted it to be different. And I'm having a good time. It's weird. It's kind of melancholy because like it's not headcanon shep for me.
Is your femshep as mom hot as Alex?
No, I do not have the bun. The bun is too intense for me. It's too tight.
I gotta know like if they changed Shep for a second season or not.
Yeah, because you
Like,
can.
I want to know, dude.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, that game is so good. Like, that game is so special. I think is like my takeaway from it. We talked about it very briefly on our Game of the Year show, but like the Awakening expansion of Dragon Age Origins came out the same year as Mass Effect 2, and it's like crazy that like those were both done by BioWare. Obviously, different BioWare teams to some extent, but like, yeah, it's really that game is such an achievement, and like the fact that it looks and feels the way it does today, I think just brings that home way more. So yeah, man, I can't say enough good things about Mass Effect 2. I might even play Mass Effect 3. We'll see. I'll consult with you, Namshin. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. Mass Effect 2, still great. Shout out, you know what, Tony, this one's for you. Shout out to Kasumi.
Hell yeah, dude.
She's super cool.
It's fucking rad.
I wish you could talk to her. But, we all want for things we'll never have. Scott, video games, dude.
Let's see. This week,
I always find it weird when you remember things.
whole lot.
I always find it weird when Alex remembers weird things.
Well, like that you love Kasumi.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't understand it either. I'll hold on to like the most random specific.
Yeah, it's
things.
literally the most random shit.
Like again, the betting team names that I texted you.
Anyway, go on, Scott.
Go on,
Sorry to
Scott.
interrupt.
Sorry, yeah.
Nothing new this week. Just a bit more Smash.
Okay.
And I guess a good 30 minutes before this thing came on, I guess I'm hanging out with the Discord guys at Minecraft again.
Yeah.
That'll probably last all of a week.
Was it just like they invited you to play and you were like, okay.
For the most part.
Okay. Is there like a hot new mod in Minecraft? Remember Minecraft mods?
Yes and no.
Okay.
You see, there being a new part is correct. Anything being having hot and new is no. Most of the mods have been pretty stale. But there's a few renditions of I'll put it this way. Most mods or mod packs generally have pack breaking problems, which kind of bums us out.
Okay.
So what most of the newer ones end up doing is fixing those. At least now they do.
Okay.
So yeah, we're playing a fixed version of equivalent exchange Skyblock, which is basically everything has a value now that can then turn into basically any base material in the game.
Okay, I like that. That's a cool idea. Did you guys make a
So
calculator?
Most of those, huh?
It's just a very outdated Minecraft reference.
I didn't.
Nava shouldn't even grown in that one. Did you guys make the Starship Enterprise?
I didn't
Oh.
make the Enterprise, first of all.
Yeah, he didn't make that one.
I know. I'm
Enterprise
just.
made me.
No, I built the Normandy, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm making references to like general cool
okay.
things that people made in Minecraft back in the day.
Trying to say that someone made something cooler than me?
Absolutely not, Tony. The Normandy
right.
you made was legit cool. And it's true, Nabishin, the Enterprise made me the man that I am today. Jean-Luc Picard.
Nah, man, if I want to do that shit, I'd do it with Legos.
Fair enough. My roommate's been playing with Legos, so maybe we should all just go back to Legos.
Mr. Beast just released a video about putting hella Legos in someone's house.
Really?
Yeah. You watch Mr. Beast?
No, I've never even heard of him.
Dude, really? Wow. Okay. You should check out some Mr. Beast videos. He's fucking... It's a feel-good channel.
Well, we are off the rails. I'm sorry, Scott.
Dude, talking about Scott's video games. It's like an invitation to go off the rails.
It's Minecraft. Are you having fun with it still?
I played for all of 30 minutes, and that was, hey, this is what this mod pack does.
Okay. So not yet. We'll get you there.
I guess.
I
I mean, learning it's kind of the fun part.
Scott, when do you want to come over and play 0.2, a fragmentary passage?
Tomorrow?
Ooh, tomorrow actually might work. Tony, do you want to come over too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The clown.
Down to clown till we're dead in the ground. Either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah, one of those days. Let's do it. That's all you've been playing, Scott?
Basically. Yeah.
Okay. Nabishin. Video games.
Why don't we do mine?
Okay. I figure you had a lot to talk about, Tony, so it's...
I have some games to talk about. I was playing some fucking Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
That game continues as I play it more to become more and more my favorite game of
Of what? You cut out.
my favorite game of last year.
Okay. That's cool. We haven't talked about this on the show. It all just kind of occurred throughout Game of the Year.
Yeah.
What is it about Sea of Thieves that's really keeping you there?
I don't know, man. It's like the way that the game is set up. While for some people it may seem like there's not a lot of content, that sort of content is what I play games for. That like pick up, do a thing, it leads to whatever happens along the way, and you just kind of embrace it as you go, and you're with the overarching goal of achieving a thing, right? And so what we'll do in Sea of Thieves is we'll get on with a goal of like, we're going to do this Athena mission, which I don't know if you got far enough into Sea of Thieves to know what it is, but it's like Athena is the rep you get once you max your other reps, but you don't have to be in like the Pirate Legend status to finish the mission. You just have to be there to get the missions. So we'll have someone from like the Sea of Thieves Discord who's already maxed out come and give us one of these voyages to do. And it fills up your quest log, gives you 8 like really rewarding quests to do. And then you go through the whole thing and do all the quests. And once you finish all 8 of the quests, it gives you the second chapter of the voyage, which is one island with one X on it. You go there and you dig up this Athena chest. And it's depending on which version of the quest you're doing, it's the most valuable chest in the game. So we'll go out there for like 3.5 to 4 hours and just do this thing. And we'll fight megalodons and pirate ships and all that other stuff, other players, and whatever happens while we're out there doing it, we just go. That emergent gameplay is the fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the game providing, first of all, being fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Second of all, having a beautiful fucking system for driving ships around. Even though the skeleton ships cheat, it pisses me off.
How do they cheat?
I'm the driver, right, out of our group. I drive the ships basically. Like everyone will do it, but most of the like because it's boring to always have to drive the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever shit goes down, I take the wheel. You know,
Jesus.
and like honestly, like I could go into a bunch of like shit about that, but like my biggest claim to fame, there was this pirate fleet event that you can go do where it spawns like 2 or 3 other ships, and then another wave of 2 or 3 skeleton ships, and then another wave of 2 galleons, one of them being the skeleton captain's galleon. And when you kill all of them, they drop hella loot. So we basically that happened. The event started, and the entire time I was able to keep our ship basically stuck to the side of these skeleton ships. And what I mean by they cheat is that the ships themselves, they do things that is not possible for a ship of that size. At least not a player ship of that size. Like they will speed up and slow down without dropping the anchor or exchanging the sails. They'll turn on a dime if they want to. Like if they're about to hit a rock, they'll basically just stop, turn away from the rock, and keep going. Or like if you're coming up to broadside them so you can hit them with your cannon, sometimes they'll just start turning directly into the side of you without losing any speed at a rate that is higher than what a ship that size could possibly do. That's what I mean by they cheat. The AI, it doesn't necessarily follow the rules of how a ship of that size should be able to turn. And it annoys me, but only because I'm paying attention to and reacting to the ship in a way that it should be able to sail, right? Like I'm assuming like the ship is going to turn on this radius and then be in this position, and then I'll turn, the galleon is kind of slow to do all of the things, so you have to plan ahead and be aware of where you're putting your ship as you go. And so I'll get through all of this effort of getting, I'll turn the ship into a way that will put us in an advantageous position. And then as soon as I do that, the enemy, like the skeleton galleon, will just turn on a dime or speed up or slow down. And it's just like, oh, come on, man. Like this whole time I'm getting this set up, and then you do something that's not possible. But it's like that's a small inconvenience anyway, because the skeleton ships, if you know what you're doing, are not a super big challenge. It's just kind of annoying, specifically if you're driving. But there's a lot of like cool shit that just happens while you're playing.
That's cool.
And that is basically like the format of the game. It's exactly the way that I wanted that game to be. And I think that while it may not have had a ton of content at launch, which I can't really speak to because I wasn't there. I didn't play it until recently. There's hella stuff to do now.
Yeah.
They've added like I think 2 whole new regions. One of them, which is significantly more challenging region, which is basically where I spend all my time doing the quests there because they're twice as rewarding. I think it's more fun to go to the islands that are constantly erupting and have like environmental hazards than sailing around to islands that basically just have some skeletons on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we do those, and there's a bunch of different things you can do. There are different events you can go to. There's skeleton forts and all that stuff. That stuff was there at launch. And they're adding a new arena mode. There's tons of cool stuff coming to the game. I think that if you're going into it without the idea that it's going to be like Ocean Destiny, then you're going to have a good time.
Okay. I think a big issue I had with it when I played it, the little I did at launch, I don't think like the shooting a gun feels very good. I don't think the swinging the sword feels very good.
I haven't had any of those problems.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe have you played it since then?
No. So
so maybe that stuff's been addressed. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I will say that not having a crosshair on your screen is fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But and right now, which will change in like 2 weeks on the 6th of February when their next patch comes out. But right now there is like basically Summit1G, really popular streamer. He's right now either tied for or very close to, or is the number 1 most subscribed person on Twitch. He's pretty much only plays Sea of Thieves.
I believe he is.
Yeah, I think he is now. I know there were a ton of news articles that came out, and he was saying that all the news articles are wrong, that he's still not number 1 yet, but soon.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so anyway, I would watch him a lot while I play, and he kind of popularized, first of all, the game, right? He really brought the resurgence of players. I'm only playing it because I was watching Summit play and I thought it looked fun. And then I noticed that I could get it, for very little money because of Xbox Game Pass, and it works on PC and everything goes great. So he's kind of popularized this method of playing the game, and before he started playing, especially in PvP, no one would ever use two guns. Everyone would always have their gun of choice and a sword. But Summit would use the pistol and the sniper, and the reason why is because the sniper rifle, when you're not scoped in, still fires straight. It's not like in like a Call of Duty or something where there's a giant range that it could shoot, like basically half your screen. So and the way that oil guns work is they typically do about half your health, a little bit more. So if you quit, and you can only do this on PC, but if you shoot the pistol or the sniper and then immediately switch to your other gun and shoot again, you'll basically insta kill somebody if you hit with the first shot, because the second one's probably going to hit if you're fast enough.
Okay.
So you just double gun them really quick and they just immediately die. And that takes out a lot of the disadvantages to using guns in PvP, because all of your reloads happen while the enemy is dead, instead of that long reload animation happening while you're trying to dodge someone's sword or something like that and get the second shot and have to aim again. So anyway, it's kind of exploity using the double guns that way, because one, Xbox players can't do that. It's not possible. You can't switch weapons fast enough on an Xbox to do it. And two, it's just kind of not the way that the PvP of the game was intended to happen.
Yeah.
So the developers are removing that with their next patch. I don't know exactly. It sounds like they're kind of overhauling the whole gun system, but we don't have a lot of details other than they're just removing the ability to. So,
how does it feel to unironically love a game made by the same people that made Donkey Kong 64?
Totally fine with me, man.
I don't care who Lanky Kong is, man. It's cool with me.
That's right.
Cool. I'm glad.
Did they have sniper rifles?
What's that?
Time? No, I was thinking sniper rifles and around that time. I was like, did they have sniper rifles around there?
It's called the Eye of Reach. It's not like called a sniper rifle, but it is a gun that has a giant sniper scope on the front of it. So,
and it fires very accurately.
Yeah, it is quite accurate.
I'll say it, Nabishin, they didn't have these sniper rifles. I don't know if these are historically accurate sniper rifles. Somebody should make a video essay on the historical accuracy of Sea of Thieves. I would watch the shit out of that. Cool. I mean, we're gonna play a little bit after the podcast.
Oh yeah, dude.
Which I'm excited
I'm
about.
still pretty annoyed that Scott never ended up playing. Scott would be into it if he could actually play it on his computer.
We're gonna have to RP though. I don't fuck with
That's cool.
anybody who doesn't roleplay while they play Sea of
Yeah. So I've got this thing where when we're done, I always scuttle the ship instead of just leaving, because no one sinks my ship but fucking me.
Damn. That's dark. Pitch
Yeah,
black,
dude.
Tony. I love it. Cool. It's funny. This is one of my best surprises. I'll say that is you getting into Sea of Thieves. So that's cool.
Yeah, dude, it's just like nonstop fun,
Yeah, I do. I get you. Have you been playing anything else?
Yeah. So I started playing Diablo 3 yesterday. The new season 16 began. I played the closed beta on the public test server for it like a month and a half ago. They made a whole bunch of balance changes to the sets that are available, and the big thing for this season is that this ring that you can get from Act 1 bounties, the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which makes it so your set bonuses require one less piece of the set to activate, except for 2-piece sets. So you can wear 5 pieces of a set and gain the 6-piece bonus, but you have to give up a ring slot to do that. So this season, you get that effect for the entire season without using the ring.
Oh.
So you can just have 5 pieces of a set and get the 6-piece. And that, combined with them basically balance patching by buffing a bunch of the less powerful sets to be the same amount of, same potency as some of the more higher performing sets, means there's a ton of diversity for each class, at least more than there used to be. And you have the ability to kind of pick and choose how you want to play, what you want to play with. And a lot of the old builds that used to be good but had fallen out of favor because other builds got introduced or buffed to be stronger are now balanced with those more strong builds. So there's basically you can play a ton of different ways, which is neat. It's not anywhere near Path of Exile's diversity in build, but it allows you to, if you're a fan of Diablo and have like some builds that you really like playing, but it just weren't really super viable for a long time. Now those are viable again, so you're able to play those, and that's super cool. So yeah, we started playing that yesterday, and we've just been grinding away at it. The way that our group kind of plays Diablo, we'll grind, get our gear together, do some greater rifts. We don't really push super hard, but we do end up getting a little bit farther each season. As the power of the game increases, we end up getting a couple greater rift levels higher. So it's neat being able to play kind of whatever you want, and having the free ring slot bonus has made a bunch of new builds that were not easily possible before much more viable. Like one of the strongest builds in the game actually like utilizes the full set bonuses of 2 different sets, which wouldn't normally be possible, which is super cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah, there's some neat stuff going on in Diablo 3, but obviously it's still Diablo 3, right? You're basically just grinding rifts for the entire time you're playing, other than when we were leveling up, which that was the first time I'd done that in a long time too, with leveling from 1 to 70 when the season starts. Mm-hmm. Usually we'll just wait a day or two and then get power leveled by some random person up to 70 and then begin the actual game.
Yeah.
But, actually doing the grind to 70 this time was actually pretty fun. 3 of us started at level 1 and just were doing it together. Which that was an experience in Diablo that I hadn't had since basically the game came out.
Yeah.
And we were actually leveling up in it, in like hard mode, because after that there was hell mode and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's super cool.
The OG, like when Diablo was coming out and like all of us were playing and jumping in and out of each other's games, like that is like probably still peak Diablo 3 for me.
Yeah, I think that was definitely an interesting time for Diablo, and I don't think that it's getting better. I think that it's very stagnant at the moment, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think the game it's in a good spot. It would be cool to see more stuff, but I'd also be thrilled to hear that instead of innovating on Diablo 3, that they're working on something else in the Diablo thing other than a phone game, which they are, which that's cool. But as I said before the show even started, like just jumping in when you got a second to Diablo and grabbing a person, or just going in solo and blowing up some monsters, is basically gaming's version of ASMR. So it's just feel good.
Yeah, it's a good. I like that analogy a lot. Gives you the crinkle tinkles.
Hell yeah, dude.
Anything else you got on here?
Yeah. So finally, I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast at all yet, but I recently picked up Magic the Gathering, which is the basically Hearthstone version of Magic the Gathering on PC.
Yeah.
And it's actually a really good time that I picked it up, because I had it for about a week and a half, and I was just kind of playing and grinding away. And the way that they've kind of made it, like I haven't had to spend any money on it, which was one of the things. I was like, I don't want to spend any money on it. And the way you just play, they give you a bunch of gold, and you can spend gold on packs or whatever. As you open packs, you get wild cards, because you can't disenchant cards or anything like that. But as you open packs, you get these things called wild cards, which you can turn into any card of that rarity that the wild card is, and then you just own it. So eventually you'll get like a rare wild card, and you can turn that into like a rare land that you need or something like that. And so I was eventually able to put together over a couple, about a week and a half to 2 weeks of playing, a full competitive deck, and now I'm able to play on the ladder and all that stuff. And it's a good time. It's standard stuff only, but that's really cool. But I think that the way, like where that game really shines is limited, like drafting and sealed, where you'll open packs, grab a card, pass it, and build a deck after you've gone through 3 packs, and then fight other people who built decks in a similar manner.
Yeah.
So they do that in a really, you basically draft against bots, but you put your deck together, and then you queue against other people who have just done the same. So you can kind of pick it up and put it down whenever, and finish your drafts whenever you want. And after having taken a 5-year break from Magic, it was really interesting getting back into those concepts that used to be so familiar to me, that were then honestly almost like foreign, because it had been so 5 years removed. 6 actually years removed. So anyway, so a new set for Magic the Gathering just came out like today.
Fuck.
So yeah, basically,
What are we
like,
doing here, Tony?
right? Well, no, so I'm not going to go like play in person or anything like that.
Yeah,
but,
fuck that.
So it's available online on the client now. And so when it came out, it was like, hey, you can do this sealed event. You'll get 6 packs worth of cards from the new set, which is not available in person yet. You can't go buy them, but you can draft from this set, or not draft. You get a sealed pool of cards from the set, build a deck, and then fight against other people. And it costs like 2,000 gems, so the equivalent of like $15 to do it. So I spent 2,000 gems on it and got this pack of the 6 packs, put together a deck, and I was able to, after not playing Magic for like 6 years, go 7-1. 7 wins is the maximum you can get. You basically just try and win 7 times before you lose 3 times. And so I was able to build the deck strong enough to go 7-1, which was super uncommon. You actually make more gems than you spent back, plus getting the prize packs if you do that. So that was super cool. It was kind of felt like a validating moment to be like, I haven't played this game in 6 years, but I was still able to 7-1 this fucking sealed thing.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It's fun. I think that it's a cool like daily little like grind thing for me, because you get on and it gives you one of those like Hearthstone-esque quests: cast 30 blue or black spells. So and you get some gold for that. So go on, get on, play a couple games, then wait for the next day, and eventually you have enough gold and gems to do a draft or whatever, and then you get some more cards that way and make your deck better. It's a neat system, and it's a lot of fun to kind of get back into Magic in a really like honestly user-friendly way. I think that the client's built pretty well. Obviously, it still has some bugs. It's in beta, but it's good.
That is cool. It's funny because like that drafting mode does sound a little bit like the arena in Hearthstone. Obviously different, but I guess I didn't have an appreciation for like deck building in card games until we all played. Was it Dominion, right?
Dominion.
Yeah. So
which is a deck building game.
The crazy thing about Magic that differentiates it from something like Hearthstone. In Hearthstone, you're given a set of 3 cards, you pick one.
Mm-hmm.
You're given another set of 3 cards, and you repeat this process 30 times.
Yep.
In Magic the Gathering, you have 3 packs of cards. You open the pack, you look at all the cards, you pick one, then you give it to the next guy, and you're drafting with 7 other people. In Arena right now, you're drafting against bots, but the bots still will do specific things, and they have tells of what they're building, which is something that you can do in a normal game of Magic, where you would look at, say you had like a really good blue and black card in your hand, and you're like trying to build a blue and black deck, but it wasn't good enough to take that time. If you're able to wheel it so you don't pick it, but it comes all the way back around to you, it's a very strong signal that you're the only person building blue and black at that table. So which means that you may change your priority of how you pick things for the next pick or the next pack when it comes out. Say something like a good uncommon in your colors comes, and you're thinking, okay, great, no one else is building my deck. I may not have to pick this as high priority as something else in this pack that may be better, but someone else is maybe in blue, but not in blue and black. It's really complicated, but you're able to do that to a kind of smaller degree in Magic the Gathering Arena, which is really neat. They're able to preserve that in that environment, drafting against bots.
That is cool. I like it, and I like that the kind of more complexity to it too. Cool. Is that all you've been playing, Tony?
That's it for me, man.
Some good stuff. Nabashin, do you want to talk about your games, or do you want to take a break?
I want to go to bed.
You want to take a break? Was that?
Yeah, we'll take a break.
Let's take a break. We've been going for a little bit. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Nabashin's games. We have some questions. I did pull some news stories. We haven't done news in a little bit. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, but maybe not necessarily all of them. But because some of them, like one in particular, I want to talk about, but we'll see. Let's take a quick break, and we will be back in just a little bit.
Hello, everyone. We are back from break.
Where's the fucking music, dude?
It's for the video viewers, a quick programming note. Nabishin went to bed because he has to get up at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow. Just want to let everybody know. Now I'll play the music. News in gaming. News! The news is Nabishin went to sleep. Because I didn't know he had to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. So let's talk about some news, y'all. Bungie.
Yeah, they did a thing, dude.
A lot of news happened in the interim, in the 3 weeks that we were doing Game of the Year stuff, right? This is one of the bigger stories that I've had thoughts on, so I wanted to kind of share kind of where I'm at with it. It was earlier this week too. So Bungie and Activision are parting ways as far as Destiny is concerned. For folks who don't know, I guess it was 2013, so 6 years ago. After Halo Reach came out, which was the last Halo game developed by Bungie, it was their last game that they were making with Microsoft, where Microsoft was their publishing partner. And Bungie went fully independent. They were an independent studio before, but they had a contract with Microsoft to make the Halo games, right? So then Microsoft held on to the Halo IP, gave it to 343, and which was a studio that Microsoft made for Halo, for that IP. And Bungie was okay with that. They're left on good terms, like, cool. We're going to go make a new thing. And people were like, what is that new thing going to be? And then they announced a 10-year contract with Activision. Like I said, I believe it was 2013. It might have been 2014. I know Destiny 1 came out in 2014, so I don't think they announced it quite yet. But the agreement was to make multiple games over the course of 10 years. That would be like big kind of shared sequel universe of games, essentially like another Halo, like the new Halo, and that was Destiny. So they made Destiny for the Taken King, and they made Destiny Iron Banner, and then they made Destiny 2, and then they made Destiny 2 Forsaken, and now I guess so. Destiny 2 Forsaken did not necessarily do as well as Activision had hoped. But I think it did. It was received as well as Bungie wanted it to be. It became very apparent that they had kind of conflicting visions for what Destiny could be. And in a very surprising move, Bungie and Activision, it seems amicably, have decided to part ways. So Bungie is going to maintain the Destiny IP and are going to take over all publishing rights for Destiny. Bungie owns Destiny completely now. They are not locked to a contract with Activision. They have no obligation to finish the remaining 4 years of that deal. And they have no obligation to do what the original plan was, which was to make 2 more Destiny games, like independent Destiny games. Maybe even 3 more. I think it might have been 5 games total. The original deal has already changed, right? It was like game expansion, new game expansion, new game expansion. I think was like the original deal. So 5 games total and 5 major expansions total, 5 like Taken King equivalents total. And that already changed when they decided to do the Iron Banner expansion, or the Rise of Iron. I forget what it's called. So this is weird. It's a big move, and I think I'm hopeful. A lot of people are very excited about this. And I think it's fair to be excited because essentially it seems like this is where this has been going. It seems like maybe Forsaken was developed and made under this premise of like, hey, we're going to make the thing that we think the people who play Destiny want. And they made it. And the people who play Destiny really liked it. The people who've fallen off, I think are just done and aren't necessarily going to come back. And I don't know if they can do anything at this point to bring them back. But the people who like and play Destiny and have kept with it really liked Forsaken, myself included. And I know it didn't necessarily bring you back in, Tony, but I don't know what would at this point. So that's really all we know right now is like, hey, this is the state of Destiny right now. Bungie owns it outright. They're going to continue Destiny. They're going to continue supporting Destiny. And now they have kind of total creative freedom. Like they don't necessarily have to stick to a timeline like they did before. That we don't necessarily have to anticipate a Destiny 3 like we did before. Although I would still say that they'll probably do another standalone release. Everything has changed, and also nothing has changed, right? I think Destiny will kind of maintain and be what it is going forward for a while, and I think all of the plans that they've announced up until now, like their season pass or whatever, annual pass, whatever they're calling it, I think that's going to continue through till September of next year, but I don't know if we'll get like another major expansion in September of next year. Maybe we'll see more minor updates like the ones they've been doing. Maybe it'll be more of like a living thing. Maybe it'll become more MMO like. I don't know. It's exciting. It's the first time. It's the first time in a long time that a story like this has been like exciting. Usually, like a publisher pulling out of a video game is like, you like, oh no.
Most of the time, it's they didn't get the game they were associated with back.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true. Like they'll lose the IP.
It's rip that publisher, rip that studio.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm trying to think. The only kind of comparable thing I can think, it's not even the same. It would be like what happened with Infinity Ward, kind of dissolving as we knew it, and then them becoming Respawn and Infinity Ward and Activision essentially splitting up. But like Infinity Ward is still technically around. It's a different thing. The only other comparison I have is IO Interactive, the guys that made Hitman and Hitman 2 last year. Square Enix removed themselves from that studio. Like they own that studio, and they didn't sell the studio. They just like disavowed themselves of it. They're like, okay, you guys own yourselves now. And they got to keep the Hitman IP, and then they made Hitman 2, which came out last fall, and it did not do well financially, it sounds like. But it did well critically, and people like the people who like Hitman like that game. And clearly IO Interactive having total creative control of that game made it better. So maybe this is a good thing for Destiny. Maybe it's a bad thing for Bungie. Maybe like they're going to start losing money and it's not going to go well for them financially. I don't know. Bungie's a huge studio with a lot of employees, and I don't know how long they can afford being independent. The nice thing about Activision backing them is Activision has basically infinite money with the success of all of their Blizzard games, and also Call of Duty just being infinite, printing money for them still. So I don't know. I think there's reason to be concerned, which I would say I am a little concerned about the safety, the security of Bungie. But there's also like total potential that someone like Microsoft would come in and lock Destiny down and say like, hey, we're going to publish Destiny now. We'll give you all the money you need, but Destiny is only on our consoles going forward. I think that could totally happen.
And this fucking Nintendo.
I kind of disagree.
How so?
I will kind of want to, like, Destiny didn't end up losing Activision money.
No, I don't think it did.
Right. So it's not like the Hitman series where making those games doesn't make them a profit.
That's true.
So it's not only can that game cover its own cost, it can make them more money. It's just that Activision said, you're not making us enough more money.
Yeah, that's fair.
So put things in your game that will do that.
Yeah, and
then Bungie kind of was trying to say no for as long as they could.
Yeah, and that could be a good thing.
In that kind of sense, like taking that into account, and with some of the microtransactions still in Destiny 2, I'm fairly sure that they could remain. If they do another expansion instead of creating a new game next,
mm-hmm.
I'm fairly certain that they could remain independent.
Yeah,
if they have to take on the entire task of making Destiny 3 all at once, then maybe you're right. But they have options.
Yeah, they do have options, right? Like, I think a big thing about like me saying like Sony or Microsoft could do it. I think like that's something that both of those companies would want to do. I think it's just a nice big exclusive that a lot of people know that they could lock down. But I don't know if Bungie would want to be tied to a publisher again for Destiny. Like they've tried that and it didn't work out. But they made Destiny and they're happy with Destiny. And people love that game. And people play it and they have a strong community and they have a good relationship with that community. So like I could see them very much being like, all right, we are free now. We can do whatever we want, and we're gonna keep it that way. So I could see both sides of it. There's reason to be excited. It's cool. I never thought this would happen. Like this is a very like a thing you don't hear about often. I guess my biggest concerns are like the actual like publishing costs of like running a video game is like printing discs and shipping copies. Like it's just another thing that Bungie has to pay for now. So the costs I think are going to start stacking up for them. But you know, like I said, they're a big studio. They've got a lot of money. I'm sure they've got a lot of money saved up too. So hopefully they'll be okay.
No, it goes back to the other thing I was saying. That might the entire process is still going to end up making them.
I hope so.
And it has a good track record of it too. So
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's a big thing to happen right at the beginning of 2019, and I'm really curious to see like what is Destiny 2 Year 3 look like. Like in September, are they going to do something big or not? And if they don't, what are they going to do? That's what I'm really curious about. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's an exciting thing. It's really, I think it could be really cool. Another thing that was like announced, just very much lightly teased, is Persona 5 R. Atlas put out like a teaser trailer with a PS4 logo attached to it. A very blatant PS4 logo attached to it.
No one was surprised.
Yeah, it was very much like, because like obviously so many people were speculating like, oh shit, like with Joker coming to Smash Brothers, are they going to announce Persona 5 for Switch? And then like this next thing is just like starts with this big ass PlayStation logo. It's like, maybe not.
They're like, might as well dispel the rumor mill.
Yeah, I think there could be something Persona 5 related on a Nintendo platform, but I don't know if it's Persona 5 proper. But they announced it would be cool. They announced Persona 5 R, and that's literally all we know about this thing. And they announced that there's going to be more information in March. It's been now 2 years almost since Persona 5 came out, so people are obviously speculating that this is kind of like the Crimson Edition or the Golden Edition of Persona 5 with additional content, et cetera, et cetera. But we don't know anything yet. I just thought it was a cool announcement. Obviously, I'm very excited about anything Persona 5 related. I know you are too, Tony. Whatever it ends up being, I'm stoked to hear about it. There's like stuff like Persona Q2, which has Persona 5 characters, right? Has not been announced for the West yet. People are speculating that Persona 5 R might be an arena fighting game, a la Persona 4 Arena. And there's maybe rumors or quotes from Arc System Works developers that could corroborate that. And people are also speculating that Persona 5 R might be a collection of things like maybe Persona Q, Persona 5 Arena, and a re-release of Persona 5. So we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Another kind of wait and see thing, but it was announced like right at the like end of 2018, early beginning of 2019. So, and it was cool. It was hype. Mortal Kombat 11 had its full reveal yesterday. I don't know if either of you guys tuned into it.
Nope.
There's a fatality where Baraka rips out your brain and eats it.
Oh, okay.
And that's and also Ronda Rousey is playing Sonya Blade. I don't know how I feel about that. I think she's
she's like probably not a good person from what I understand. So that's kind of a bummer. I have no affinity for Mortal Kombat really anymore. I'm over the violence. I like Mortal Kombat. I like how it plays a lot. I'm just.
So it was cool when we were 18.
It was. It was cool when we were playing Mortal Kombat and Portal 2.
There's a certain novelty to it, and novelty wears off.
Mm-hmm. I will say I'm excited to see what the story mode of that game is because I'm sure it's gonna be ridiculous. But like just seeing all the fatalities and all the violence and whatnot, I'm just like so just over it at this point. Personally, a lot of people were tweeting about it yesterday. A lot of people were into it. Cool. By no means, don't let me ruin your fun. But I'm just over it.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think it's okay for people to be into it. I think it's okay for me to be out of it. And then, man, I don't even want to talk about this EA thing. EA canceled another Star Wars game that wasn't even really announced. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Star Wars. You know what?
I hope it cost them $1 million or so.
I hope it cost them millions upon millions of dollars. I'm sure it did. Because they apparently are incapable of putting out video games. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You know what I am excited about though?
What you is?
Questions from our listeners.
Hell yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it. Let me find this music. There we go. Ooh. We're back. New year, new us, etc., etc. But you can still tweet your questions at Irrational Pod, the hashtag IPQ, or you can. I forgot the other ways you can do it. You can email us, mailsack at irrationalpassage.com.
What else could you do?
Or leave us a voicemail, 404-590-1337. Let's read some questions. We got some tweets. As per I think the easiest way to be a part of the show at this point.
Yes.
Let me pull them up on my phone so I don't fuck up the video for our lovely live audience. God, hold on, bear with me for a second, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Tony, talk amongst yourself.
Hello. Hey, me.
Hey,
this
me.
is difficult. I can't talk to myself all that well.
You guys got to do it more often. It's very fun.
Talk to me.
Talk to yourself.
Have like a powwow with my brain.
Yeah, have a powwow with your brain. Tell your brain to chill.
It's like I'm in a constant state of brain powwow, dude.
That's good. I like brain powwow. There we go. First question comes from Justin Zorel, which is his Twitter name right now, Justin Graphius, at the Sigma Omega. He said, IPQ, new year, new you. So far in 2019, I beat Final Fantasy VII and Undertale. I forgot that he beat Undertale. I think he liked it, though.
Nice.
I'm glad. Thank you, Justin, for finally playing it. He did tweet out that he originally wanted to see that he didn't know a lot going into Undertale. He wanted to just play the whole genocide run because he feels like not a lot of people played that. And I was like, I will never talk to you again if you do that as your first playthrough of that game. And he's like, okay.
That was my first playthrough of Undertale.
I'm not surprised, Tony.
Do it. I promise it's a good experience.
He might go back and play it again. It's worth it for the final boss. Final boss is great.
Well, no, it's worth it for everything in between, too.
It's just generally worth it.
Personally, disagree.
The boring part is the grindy part, but every other main interaction is also very good. Very, very good.
There's a lot of good. It's very well written. That whole side. It's cool that it's there. Beat Final Fantasy VII and Undertale, now working on Tales of Vesperia, thanks to Definitive Edition. Excellent. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Which are games I dismissed. Are there any games this year you would like to play and go back to that you dismissed previously to give an honest shot? That's a good question.
That I dismissed? I mean, I guess you can count me dismissing Dead Cells.
Yes.
But I didn't really. The intention was always to go and do it. but it was just late. It was very late.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to think of I guess Sea of Thieves is one for me. I'm gonna play some of that.
Yeah. Shit.
Which is a game that I kind of bounced off of. I very rarely like dismiss games out of hands. I'll usually try and give anything that is seriously recommended to me a shot. Oh God, Siri, I did not say your name.
I didn't hear you.
But let me think on it. Tony, what about you?
I don't know. I think I kind of did that already. Went back and took stock of shit that I hadn't finished, or I'd kind of just breezed over.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Went back deep into League of Legends. Next, I hear you're gonna be playing fucking Dota 2.
No, I tried that too earlier last year.
Okay.
There's that game that changed too much.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Justin, I don't necessarily dismiss things. Maybe that's not necessarily what you mean here. But maybe like something that I genuinely missed. There are a couple of things that we talked about during Game of the Year on the editorial side that I'd like to go play. Iconoclast was a game that seems cool that Mike really liked, and I want to go play that. And Astrobot Rescue Mission is a VR game that a lot of people really like. I've not played. Now that my brother's moved out of my house and I no longer have access to PSVR, I'd have to buy a PSVR in order to play it, but maybe I will. Justin, you tell me, you remind me if I've dismissed a game that you like out of hand, and I'll consider playing it again. This is from Mike Burgess, whose current Twitter name is Mike Will Face My Fears on 129, which is very funny. Face My Fears is the name of the intro song to Kingdom Hearts 3. He says, what are some music tracks from a popular game franchise? At Mike Hits the Wall. Awesome. What are some music tracks from a popular game franchise that you love, or just a franchise you like in general, that you think are underrated or don't get the credit they deserve? Here's a personal favorite of mine. I'll play it real quick. It's the Encounter from Kingdom Hearts Remastered. I'm trying to remember what song this is. Oh no, this is peak Kingdom Hearts. You know this shit, Scott. This like plays anytime you fight a organization member.
Yeah.
This is good shit. Yeah, this is... I would say, like, this is probably not, like, one of the most universally recognized tracks in Kingdom Hearts, but, like, I'm sure you're the same way, Scott. Like, when I hear this,
I would never know the name of it, but yeah. I would say, like, hold on a second.
Yeah, like, I know this song.
If you were to start playing this, it would take me a minute to realize this is a Kingdom Hearts song. And then I would, maybe in a minute or two longer, I'd say, yeah, this is what happens when you fight an organization.
Yeah. That would definitely jump out to me right away. Because I did all of, like, the optional bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2. So, like, I heard that music so much. That's a good question, though. What are some music tracks from a popular game franchise you love that you think are underrated? Tony, do you have any? I know your music's such a huge thing for you.
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of them.
A big one for me, one of my favorite Legend of Zelda tracks is Oath to Order, which is kind of like the theme of Majora's Mask, which I feel like doesn't get referenced a lot, at least like in my experience of like people who like that game, or like in writings since that game has come out, of like people talking about that game just in general. Like Oath to Order is such like this melancholy, slow, it's like this 7-beat song I think it's so epic. It's so unique, and it's such a good theme for Majora's Mask. I think Majora's Mask has a lot of music that just never gets talked about and like most of the other Zelda games have like way more popular music, like Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time, obviously. Link to the Past has huge.
I'm surprised Wind Waker's on that list.
I mean, Dragon Roost Island is like reused.
That's the fucking goat, dude.
Yeah, it's the goat. It's phenomenal, but like you hear that like in Breath of the Wild, it like makes a cameo in like Twilight Princess, I think. It's been reused and remixed a lot. It's in a lot of different Zelda medleys that they've done. Like a lot of Wind Waker music is, and like the ocean theme as well. But like, man, the music in Majora's Mask is so good.
Yeah.
I know you're with me on this, Scott. So
it's every section has what should be called iconic music.
yes,
Like as the main force, and then there is every time the fucking Skull Kid talks.
yeah. Oh yeah, that music. Oh yes, yes, totally. And like the song that you learn in the Stone Tower that you have to play 1 billion times, Epitome of Emptiness, is so good.
Effigy of Emptiness.
Effigy of Emptiness. Thank you. Yes, you are totally right.
Yeah, see, I know that one by name.
Yeah, you know that one, Scott. You got me. So yeah, I feel like Majora's Mask music does not get enough credit, personally. Also, I've been listening to some Mass Effect 2 music.
Yeah. Dude, Mass Effect 1 Galaxy music
Is so good, yes.
so good.
But also, like, Mass Effect 2 Galaxy music is good. It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's good. The Elusive Man's theme is amazing. And I just forgot about it. It's so good. But yeah, my favorite Mass Effect 1 song is probably Ilos? Not Ilos. Vigil. Which is the song that plays on the start screen. And it's also the song that plays when you meet Vigil, who's like a little AI that you meet in that game. And it's so good. It's like the epitome of what Mass Effect is for me. The sound of it is. Did you think of any other ones, Tony?
All right, here's a more recent one. Fucking Beneath the Mask from Persona 5.
Fuck yes, dude.
That one. Oof.
Oof.
That one and the snow music from Persona 4. I don't remember.
Yes, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me look at
Those are no, like without a doubt my two favorites. My favorite one from each of the two games.
Yes.
And they're just fucking
That's one
But
of
I
my
think that
favorite
people
Persona 4 tracks too.
Yeah, people gravitate towards like the main themes and the battle music more.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that ambiance music, you know.
Snowflakes is the name of the snow song.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. I'm totally with you. Scott, did you think of any other ones?
And the entire Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze playlist.
All right. Groove Crusader from Dark Souls 3.
Oh, that's a really good one. Dark Souls has a lot of really unappreciated music.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good like backgrounds to bosses and stuff.
Yeah, like big bombastic operatic themes.
Yeah, if we went back and looked at like the doc for the Game of the Year stuff during the year that Dark Souls 3 came out, which was 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I put in some of that stuff. That's just so good.
Yeah,
God damn it.
that final boss music is very good. God damn.
Okay, so since you guys obviously didn't catch it, Groove Crusader is a song from Tupperware Remix Party that
Really?
was used in the video of a guy recreating the Dragon
I mean,
Plant.
I just assumed
It
that you
doesn't
were correct
actually
on the
belong in
title.
the game.
Okay, Groove Crusader's great song.
Yeah,
If that was the name of a Dark Souls song, it would still be good.
it would still be good. Shout out to Tupperware Remix Party.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We saw them live, dude. It was
We
great.
did. It was
fucking lit.
It's one of the best nights of my life.
Yeah, same.
Holy shit. Thank you for the questions, everybody. I'll try and solicit questions earlier. We had like a lot of social media stuff going out this week because Game of the Year. So It's okay. We've reached the end of the show, though, fellas. It's
No.
time. I know. It's so sad. A couple of quick things that I'd like to throw out for you lovely listeners. One, if you like the show, you can follow the Irrational Passions brand on Twitter at IrrationalPod, on Instagram, Irrational Passions. We do a lot of cool stuff on there. George Cruz runs the social media. He does a great job. If you like the show, rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play or Spotify or wherever you listen to the show. I found out we do have listeners on Spotify, which I was fascinated to hear. So somebody's out there listening on Spotify.
All right.
I don't know if Spotify has ratings, but you should check it out. Check out our other shows, Input. They just did an episode this week on Randy Pitchford and that whole situation. I'm not going to get into it here. Boy, howdy. And they had Cameron Abbott on, friend of the show. And Video Game Book Club is coming back soon, which I'm very excited about. Resident Evil podcast. It's Raccoon City Radio. It's the name of it. You can subscribe to it now. First episode will be out on Tuesday. Andrew and I talking about our history with Resident Evil and the demo for the one-shot demo for Resident Evil 2. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, irrationalpassions.com. Like I said, if you are a writer or podcaster or host or want to be a contributor and you're a new diverse voice and you'd like to join the Irrational Passions team, follow me on Twitter, Alfinder27. Check out the editorial application there and fill it out. Or email me, alex@irrationalpassions.com. That's it. It's the end of the show, which means it's time for bets.
Time for bet.
So it's new year, new season. Nobishin is not here. I'm gonna catch him up on the bet. But Scott, if you would like to hold off on coming up with a name for your and Nobishin's betting team,
Yeah.
that
Sounds good.
is totally fine. For now, you guys can be team 2. And you guys can think on a name. Tony, I pitched you some names. I texted Tony this week. He didn't get it, but
I got it now.
he has it now. I pitched Tony some names. I'm going to read these names off. There's a theme. There's a running theme. The Bustlin' Betters. About to bust a bet, which might be my favorite one. 2 bets too furious. 2 betters too furious. Bet on bustin'. Can't bust these bets. And bets 2. This time it's serious.
Which one is your favorite?
I really like about to bust a bet.
All right, I'm down.
Okay. We are team about to bust a bet.
All right. I guess since we're reading off team names, the only one I came up with so far is Doubling Down.
Ooh, doubling down's good.
I'll have to see what Nobishin says next week.
Yeah. So for folks who are new to the show or are uninitiated, this is a segment that we lifted from the Easy Allies podcast because it's fun and we like fun. We are gonna bet. We're gonna make dumb bets at the end of every show. We will resolve the previous week's bet, which we don't have one for this week, but we will next week. And then we will make a new bet, typically based on something coming out that week or something along those lines. And we will bet on it. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's really just guessing. And the points don't really matter, but we do it to have fun. This week's bet. At the end of next podcast, I will search YouTube for Resident Evil 2 gameplay. What will the like to dislike ratio on the 4th video be? So you could say like 25,000 to 1,000 or whatever, or you could say like 25 to 1. It's whatever's closest. I'm going to do like the full number just so it's like the closest, you know. Actually, let me tighten that up. Let's do the full numbers just so that way we can do whatever's closest.
Read the bet again.
At the end of next podcast, I will search YouTube for Resident Evil 2 gameplay. What will the like to dislike ratio on the 4th video be? Do you guys ever like stuff on a YouTube video?
I like some videos.
I essentially act like I don't have an account.
Okay. That's fair.
That's what you want, right?
I will get Nobishin's bet for this. It would be wrong to...
Like, for reference, I prefer to open YouTube in incognito mode. Or whatever browser I'm using.
I want YouTube to collect my data and serve me relevant video. Take my fucking browser history. I don't give a fuck. Show me the good shit.
It's true.
My browser history tends to take me to weird places. Like, within... I'll put it this way. As far as 4 or 5 videos goes, we're all good. As far as a week of videos goes, I'm on the weird part of YouTube now.
That's fair. It's smart though, Scott, because because Kingdom Hearts leaked. I know Mike and Scott both Scott White saw recommended videos based on their viewing habits of like things that were spoilers.
That would absolutely happen to me. Mm-hmm. But that's not exactly the weird end that I end up in.
That's fair. I was smart. I started when YouTube would recommend me Kingdom Hearts videos about 3 weeks ago. I started saying I don't want to see any of these, so I haven't seen anything on my YouTube. So I've been pretty lucky so far.
I guess I could try and tailor it that way, but yeah.
Generally, I will say like I like YouTube recommendations because I found a lot of cool people because of those. But
I will say though, if I like accidentally find myself auto playing onto a video that I'm not interested, I'm always like, "Fuck, man! Now I'm gonna get all of these for like the next 2 weeks."
Yeah, it's true. I like every Game Grumps video though because I know it helps them. So, you guys just want to read your guesses off to me?
Yeah. I put it in the Discord. I said I wasn't sure if this is the format you wanted it in, but I said 1,500 likes, 50 dislikes.
That's exactly the format I wanted it.
Alrighty then.
Perfect.
Oh, I thought you wanted it as a percent.
No, like to dislike ratio. So likes to dislikes. How many likes and how many dislikes? You can rewrite it, Scott. You haven't told it to me yet, so.
Okay.
Mine was 4,600 to 106. So 4,600 likes, 106 dislikes. Yours is probably better, Tony, if it's the 4th video. Because I imagine the top video will be like big.
I don't know if that's how YouTube sorts anything.
It's true.
So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason to it.
The thing.
Okay, can you read it off to me, Scott?
A 4K to 820.88.
Okay. I love it.
0.88 of a person is going to this.
I love it.
People without arms and legs, dude.
Yeah, it's true. Dislike it with their nose.
Wouldn't that be like 20% of a person?
Maybe they'll like Resident Evil because it's like so. I had no idea where I was going with that.
Can't play it. Jealousy does a lot to a person.
Yeah. That's it. Those are the bets. I'll get Nabashin's. I'll text it to him and get it from him tomorrow. But that's the end of the show. Thank you everybody so much for listening or to our live viewers for watching along with us. We really appreciate it. And we love you all very much. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for the opening music of Two Player Co-op and the closing music of The World is Saved. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Nabashin. I hope he's getting some good sleep. For joining me as always, I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games, stay irrational. We'll talk to you all next week.
Next week.
Titles.
We got Drink the Water. Trey Barker.
Trey Barker's really funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I'm a Genus main. Tony loves Kasumi.
Katsumi. I like that. But yes, Kasumi.
Did you guys make a calculator?
This is such a bad joke.
And I didn't make the Enterprise. The Enterprise made me.
I really like Trey Barker.
I'm down with it. I would like to make my position known, completely forbidding Star Trek references from our titles.
Wow. Do you hate Star Trek or something, Tony?
Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't hate it. I just dislike.
It's like on a scale of 1 to 10 of dislike, you're like a 6.5.
Solid 4.5.
Okay, that's lower than I thought. I'm cool with Trey Barker. What do you like, Scott? Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Cool.
I will say I don't like the stigma that comes with references to that show.
True. There is a lot of stigma to it. I found out that, so I went back and I edited all of the old podcasts, which was harrowing, but it's done. It's over now, and hopefully I won't fall behind again. Namish and I did the intro, me doing the number, him doing the title, and then vice versa, like 3 weeks in a row.
Hell yeah, dude. So you know what's going on this week? You're doing both.
That sounds lame. I want you guys to do it. The two of you. You can split up who does what. But.
You're listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 409.
Trey Barker.
Perfect. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night.